Hello.
Oh, we're doing fade in now?
It's always been a faded.
Well, my ears suck ass.
They do.
But fuck that.
It's always been a faded.
Who cares? My senses are weak.
Mm-hmm.
My sense of smell is terrible. My eyesight's not the best. My hearing's only okay.
So how do you live?
Live slow, die whenever, man.
Your sense of smell is weak.
My sense of smell is weak to the point of being almost non-existent.
Yeah, which means your sense of taste is weak.
Yeah, which explains the sugar fixation.
Your eyesight's bad.
My eyesight on my right eye is okay. My eyesight on my left eye is terrible.
But you don't wear glasses.
I don't wear glasses because glasses are for dorks.
But you could get a prescription if you need.
I could if I need be. The solution was to get bigger and bigger TVs.
And how's your hearing?
My hearings, I guess I thought it was fine up until just now, but I guess that's attention, less hearing.
Same thing in nature.
I wonder if I can still hear that noise that makes teenagers die.
Like in nature, if you're distracted and not paying attention, or if your hearing is just bad, either way, the tiger's going to get you.
I don't want to get eaten by a tiger.
So it doesn't matter whether it's like your attention or your bad hearing. It's
no,
the same
Bill,
effect.
no.
Yeah. So
little B-stars humor there for you.
You're not making it.
Oh well. Fuck it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
KAMIYA's gone crazy.
KAMIYA's back in the spotlight.
KAMIYA has lost his mind and blocked his own company.
Yeah.
Because they caught him asleep as fuck.
Yeah.
Asleep as fuck to do what? Perch salt shakers and shit on his bald head.
It does work out when the blocking goes so far and so extreme that it has no meaning anymore.
Yeah.
It's now just a spiritual, it's a vibe, essentially. It's a thing you can earn off of a Kickstarter.
It's gone from don't ask me any question I've already answered, which was already like an insane request.
There's a Tweelog, though. Always search the Tweelog.
To don't do that in English ever.
Yeah.
To don't talk to me about games I'm not working on or haven't worked on.
Yeah.
To don't exist.
Don't talk to me.
Don't talk to me.
Don't talk to
Just
me.
don't talk to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is kind of funny in the sense that it's like at the end of the day, he must have a very particular use for Twitter.
I followed him on Twitter for a while and I had to stop because he tweets all the time. I don't know how he gets any work done.
I still follow him. It's in there, but like I feel like he uses it for a very particular thing. It's a single serving use, and everything extra is just completely
It's like
optional.
he wants it to be like a LinkedIn or something.
Maybe you do need it to keep abreast of like what's happening with games and trailers and shit, you know. But it's hit the point of parody to the point where it's just like, yeah, fuck Platinum Games, blocked.
Well, also the plan is to unblock everyone,
possibly.
Which I can't. His phone is going to be a mess the day that happens.
Yeah, it would immediately then be like, well, I did it, but now I'm starting again.
Yes.
And I think he must like have like there's also the possibility that he just like gets joy out of every time he hits that.
He probably does.
He gains in power,
even though it's rude to do.
Do you think there's anyone on the internet with more blocks than KAMIYA? Yes, because there's people that use
block lists,
auto blockers. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Mm-hmm. Either way, it's nice to see.
Oh man,
it's nice to see them all healthy and happy and in the public eye and crashing Mega 64 panels.
I just thought of what if KAMIYA, like he's like, oh, the intern is gonna have to spend 3 weeks unblocking people on his phone, but what if, as the intern's doing that, KAMIYA goes and sets up a block list of everyone he's already blocked. And then the day after they unblock everyone,
he turns it right back on.
He just turns the block list on, and you're all blocked again.
Easy automatic.
Oh, man.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, that's super good.
He did it. He held up his end of the bargain. Can't say he didn't do it.
You all got one tweet out.
Or, like, he's like, okay, you're all unblocked. I've deleted my Twitter account.
Here's my new Twitter account.
Straight up. I've abandoned it.
My new Twitter account, which is private and has no posts. Yeah. Is only for DMs.
And I'm only following that one cosplayer girl.
Yep.
That's it. Anyway, yeah, apparently they had a pretty good PAX East. That's cool.
One of the only groups that has actually flown out to PAX East.
Mm-hmm.
PAX East was like functionally half canceled in terms of exhibitor booths.
GDC is full canceled.
GDC is postponed.
GDC is full canceled.
GDC is postponed in a really bizarre way because they said we're postponing it in fears of the coronavirus outbreak, which is currently scaring the shit out of everyone. But like
COVID-19,
even by best estimates of like it'll probably it'll disappear like the flu in April or whatever. That's April, man. That's like 2 months from now.
Yeah, also,
that's way too late for GDC.
Also, that's a completely nonsense bullshit lie.
I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
I just don't touch people, and I wash my hands. Wash your hands, everybody.
What about the food they have to bring to you? The outside world has to exist.
Stocking up on cans.
Yeah, there you go. So I don't know if you saw that that meme that got posted, but it's basically like, hey, so it's talking about the Akira movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, perfect.
Isn't that thing awesome?
Well, you know what I'm playing right now on my Twitch channel? I'm playing Resident Evil 6. Do you know what happens in Resident Evil 6?
A whole lot of outbreak.
Where do you think the outbreak takes place?
Tokyo.
No.
America.
No. Well, yes, but mostly China.
Oh, really?
What do you think the name of the virus in Resident Evil 6 is?
Is it C virus?
It is the fucking C virus.
Hey, so here's what's going on, right?
Resident Evil 5 for Black History Month, and then Resident Evil 6 for this shit.
Akira is a 1988 movie about an apocalyptic event taking place months before the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, showing the WHO, otherwise the World Health Organization, advising Japan to postpone the Olympics because of a pandemic risk. Realizing that Tokyo is hosting the Olympics in 2020, months before the Olympics begin, coronavirus appears. The WHO is advising Japan to postpone the Olympics because of a pandemic risk. In the screenshot of Akira,
147 days till the Tokyo Olympics.
That 147 days from the Tokyo 2020 Olympics is exactly yesterday, February 29th. Everybody panic.
Nah, man. Well, I mean, eventually in enough media that is like only 10, 15 years in the future, you're going to get some ring dingers.
Just go find that poor girl that's hanging out with Tetsuo and make sure she doesn't get gooped.
Yeah. And then get Tetsuo and just beat him down with pipes.
I mean, well, there's that. But that's going to make it happen faster.
Not if you beat him down hard enough with pipes.
No, you see, I think that's the problem. I think the prevention attempt is what actually causes it. You find the Tetsuo out there, and then you actually just start beating the shit out of him preemptively, thereby causing the whole thing to go down.
Yeah, but he only got like that when they hit him with the wrinkly baby juice.
Okay, let's wait for the patented like laser rifle to be announced in the next 30 days.
Yeah. And fully equipped on the SDF.
Ready to go.
SDF? The JSDF.
You know, and then then we'll be able to assess the situation from there. But yeah, stay away from stadiums.
You know what's a great thing to do while you're terrified of the outside world? Stay in and listen to a podcast or watch a stream or a YouTube video.
Play some video games. Hey, you know what? Maybe even, maybe we get to a point where we set up little disinfectants outside our front doors that go psh as soon as someone comes to deliver our food or parcels and packages. And we just hit, like Kojima once again, he did it again.
Oh my god.
He just called it.
How? Oh man, genius Kojumbo.
But instead of BTs, it's just people.
How does a man who...
It's just people coughing.
It's just wild guesses. It's just wild guesses.
Packs of coughers hanging out throughout the city.
How does a man who can foresee the future of the internet in MGS2 also foresee that the S in Strand stands for Strand?
Well, did you know that the reason why GACT was involved with MGS2?
I did not even know that.
Was because in a TV commercial for MGS2, a TVCM as they say.
Oh yes.
Gacked was Kojima tweeted out that they got a Gacked song because, as you know, GACT are the letters that are associated with DNA, which is the message behind the memes, the original memes, as told with Gene, Meme, Scene, the message of MGS2.
I hate it.
As building towards the DNA gene to meme delivery, GACT, right? But hold on a minute, because the recording artist has a K in there. So what does that mean? What does the K stand for? What does the fucking K stand for, Pat?
I don't know.
What does the K stand for?
I don't know.
Gacked?
Yeah.
Plus K.
Yeah.
The K stands for Kojima. And that's why he chose Gacked to do a TV commercial for MGS2.
Kojima is like every terrible indie filmmaker combined into one person, but because he came up in video games, we all love him. And I do love his fucking games.
I love everything
but
about
at the
him.
same time, this has become so insufferable.
It is painful, if only because of how much I love Hideo Kojima. To the death. Ride or die.
I should have seen it coming, and we all should have seen it coming when we loaded up Hoops and we saw Hot Cold Man.
It's the kind
that was the start.
It's the kind of insanity, though. It's the kind of insanity that you know is directly responsible for the quality of the games you've played.
Yeah.
So you cannot for a second stop to go, right? It's like every time Tracy Morgan would be in the news for doing something fucked or doing some dumb shit or just do whatever, and you're like, yeah, but that's why he's Tracy Morgan, though.
Yeah.
You know? And it would always just be the same thing where you're like, God damn it, that's kind of what it is. You know? It's the same one.
I'd like to be corrected that was Peace Walker, not Poops. But also, Peace Walker sucks.
Oh, sure. Anyway.
Fuck Peace Walker.
You know, that's what it is, man. It's the same part of the brain that makes ODB a lyrical genius, a master of delivery.
I remember being...
that also has to pull up to the fucking welfare office and give his kids all those food stamps in a limo. It's just, it's the same genius.
I remember being 16 and playing MGS2, and there was a guy named Fat Man who loved bombs.
He did.
And I later was like, oh my god, dude, Fat Man was the name of one of the bombs that dropped into Japan. That's crazy. And there was supposed to be a different boss.
But there wasn't.
But it was also named... That's so deep.
Nope. Didn't happen.
That's so deep.
Laughing girl fat.
And then later, I was like, wait a second. That's not deep at all. I was like, how'd Stillman hide a fake leg that was a real leg for like a decade?
Pat, shut the fuck up. Vampires. Okay?
They call him Vamp. Why do they call him Vamp? Is it because he's an obvious vampire? Nah, man.
Just
hits on both teams. A nickname that I have never heard referred to in that context before or after. Fuck it.
I can only imagine the nights spent like viciously flipping through a dictionary to find out if there's other words like revamp or anything close that you can fit those letters into.
Get that man's thesaurus away from him.
Yep. Well, anyway, God bless. Godspeed. You know what, though? 2020 Olympics gets canceled.
Yeah.
First thing I want to see.
What's that?
Tweet from Kojima.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
That was legitimately unbelievable.
That's what we need.
Well, that was during the tsunami or the earthquake?
One of them.
Where all the studios were like, hey, everybody be careful out there. Like, everybody here is safe. Don't worry about it. Just out comes Genius Kojumbo blasting it out. I'm okay.
To be fair, imagine I imagine he turned his Twitter on and had a couple hundred messages going, "Are you okay?" And then he went, "I'm okay."
Yeah.
But it's not how it hit. It's not
read
how it hit.
the room, man.
It's not how it hit.
Read the room.
Yeah. I feel like the idea of him unrestricted creating films is something that needs to happen once.
Yeah, I need to go to a theater to see a Hideo Kojima production, and never again.
And everyone needs to catch what's happening. Everyone needs to see where and how this is a mistake.
They need to feel what we felt,
and then immediately we back down to video games.
Back you go.
Like shriveled up.
You know what I'm excited for? The diehards who will espouse that whatever movie that it is the best movie ever until the day they die.
It will have many, many hidden meaning.
Oh,
big discussion.
You're right. It will have many hidden meaning. Big discussion.
Yes, it will. And that will mean deep good.
Deep good hidden meaning discussion. That, you know what? You just figured it. You just all the pieces locked into place from what you were talking about. That's why Kojima stuff isn't actually deep. It means things, but there's nothing to discuss. There's no actual back and forth. What is the bonds between people important? Yes. Yes.
Did you catch the pun that implied that? Yes.
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 Are nuclear weapons bad? Yes.
Well, according to Nukes Are Bad Man, and whatever his storyline ends up being.
When I was a child, a nuke stole my mother's purse.
But you see, the thing about it though, right? That is always that is fascinating. Is it's when the thing that happens in the thing is like in the it's when it's ahead of its time, where it's when it's calling out where the future goes.
Yeah,
that's the impressive part.
Yeah,
that's the impressive part, is calling out the state of the internet, social media, and where we're gonna end up. Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, like.
That's crazy.
It's like, wow, you called it.
Didn't know about Discord, but here we are.
Here we are. But anyways, I feel like the thing with that movie too is that it'll have a ridiculous budget. He'll secure funding.
He will secure actors.
And all of the budget will go towards them.
Yes.
And then there will be some CG.
A little bit. And
the coolest thing about the movie will be the Yoji Shinkawa poster that is not used in America.
Yeah.
And that will be what it is. That'll be the coolest thing ever. There will be a Yoji poster that is not used in theaters in America, and everyone's gonna fucking love that thing. Then we just move on and pretend it didn't happen.
You know what's gonna be great? Because I don't know as much about film development. In fact, I know precious little compared to game development, in which I know a little. But let's look at the Star Wars movies, right? The prequels particularly. It is my impression that in a game development studio, in which there are many, many, many moving parts, similar to a film, the history of it is, even though you have an auteur or like a director that's like, yeah, there's a lot of people going, dude, that sucks, and like fighting you on it. Just being like, no, it should be like this. Competing visions. Or this doesn't work, or this level doesn't work, or this character doesn't right? But the director of a film it's their vision being put down onto fucking real, right? But whereas Death Stranding was unhinged Kojima, could we get a film that's even more?
Well, no, because I think that like in both cases, there's going to be people talking. But if you are a like known name that has got clout and a body of work that people trust, then you're going to always get to steamroll the conversation.
Yeah.
So you're never going to get yelled into like,
I made MGS2,
submission.
God damn it, don't you tell me what to do.
You know, that's always going to be the case. And then you get Prometheus.
Then you get... Is Ridley Scott like the most hit or miss director ever?
There's probably more.
Because his hits are hits.
There's probably more out there.
His misses are fucking bad.
You know, there's probably more. Because I heard, again, you go back to the Kingdom of Heaven one and you go like, well, that was the cut, though.
That's the cut, and that's the
cut,
studio.
You know? But in terms of like the hits being harder hits... Yeah, I get it's hard to find whoever you find with that's more divisive will not have harder hits than Ridley Scott. So, yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Maybe. Anyway,
back to reality. Away from movies. Get out of here, movies.
Well, except for cuz you mentioned Star Wars, I don't know if you heard.
Oh, they're releasing DLC packs for the episode 9?
The tweets? They're dropping tweets.
Those are from books.
It's great.
Those books are DLC packs.
Super sick.
Hey, did you know that there was a massive cult on that planet? Then they're the ones who got indoctrinated and built all those Star Destroyers?
No.
How would I know that?
Says Frodo.
It's not in the movie.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know that he totally was a clone?
Totally a clone. It's totally a clone.
Did you know that?
So...
No! How would I have known that? It's not in the movie!
There's a jar of the other clones though, and you know he blew up in the blue smoke, so that'd have to be a clone. Besides, didn't you read Dark Empire?
Hell no, I didn't.
Well, you know, same shit.
Reading books is for nerds with glasses that can read them.
Which thankfully I've been reminded of, which is like, yeah, that's the shit I always talk about that I read. It was Dark Empire back in the day, and I was like, oh yeah, that brought the whole clone thing up way back when.
Fucking
1994 was it? So you know.
I think the weakest thing that could ever be said about a piece of work ever is, hey, this part sucks. Oh, don't worry. It's in the supplemental material.
Well, that's this is what happens with games, right?
All the time.
The log files. And currently we are getting the log files in tweet form.
For movies.
For fucking episode 9. And this is a baffling, crazy way to go about it because... This never happened for 7 or 8.
This is a way to disseminate details out into the public consciousness so that the fucking Blu-ray sales get better. So that people just go, oh yeah, he's a clone, and they don't remember where it came to them.
Could you imagine if, like, after the release of 9, the Twitter account officially just became time to answer questions and plot holes, and it's just dedicated to arguing down things that people didn't understand or like.
All right, I'm going to say something dramatic and crazy.
You know what they should do?
You know what they should do? They should put these things in the movie. But that's not the dramatic and crazy part. I just needed to follow up on, you know what they should do. Does everybody remember episode 1 where Qui-Gon Jinn takes a little blood sample of the little baby and he goes, oh, you got all these metachlorians, right? And he explains, he looks at the camera and ruins the Force.
Yep.
That's the exact same thing, but put into the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a different past where he took a blood sample of the kid and said, wow, he's got lots of Force in him. And then just walked out of the scene, right? And then people would go, hey, how come the blood test? And then the Twitter account said, oh, well, midichlorians are in the blood, blah, blah, blah. And everyone would have gone, that's stupid. And we could have ignored it forever. Because it was bad. But knowing that this guy's a clone, and that's why he's disintegrating at the end for no reason, that seems like it would have been important.
I'll see you and I'll raise you.
Oh, yes?
1977. You walk out of the theater.
Yes.
You just hit the credits on A New Hope.
That's right.
And then you pull out your cell phone.
Yes.
And you log on to Twitter.
Twitter.com, 1977.
And you go to George Lucas's account.
That's right,
and
which he has.
And he says, "Did you know that the Force is actually controlled by small microscopic beings called the Wills?"
And you went...
And they are the ones that are actually causing things to happen.
And then you would unfollow George Lucas and probably not go see the next Star Wars movie.
You understand the supplemental material, had we gotten it back in the fucking day from the horse's mouth itself, we would have already been in this predicament. Too much detail. The lack of explanation saved us.
If it's not in the movie, it doesn't count. I think that's a really, really, really clear and easy to follow rule.
Say what you will, but you walk out of that Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah.
And JK is standing
right there.
You hand her your 3D glasses. And she
says,
puts them in the thing.
"Did you know that off camera, or sometimes even on the camera, but you couldn't see it because of the robes, that they were shitting and pissing themselves?"
And as you're walking over to the escalator and down back towards the subway, she follows you all the way to the subway.
Not now, JK.
Stops at the turnstiles and then goes back up to find someone else.
"Did you know that Snape only wanted to help Harry because he saw his mother's fuck eyes?"
We got it. Got it. Thank you.
Did you know?
You're not... This is not making it better. Yeah.
Did you know Harry's dad once took 10 cocks at once? No, JK. No, JK. Stop it.
It's not improving the story. Well, so there you go, you know. If you want to call it what it is, you gotta remember the Wills. I feel like I'm the only one who keeps trying to bring it up.
Yeah, because
everyone's trying to run from it, for me. And I won't let you.
The Harry Potter.
I won't let you run from the
Harry
Wills.
Potter stuff always sticks around because it's always so stupid. But Wills is just, it's so. You know what's really weird? I'm gonna tie this back. So Wills is kind of a Wills of I always think Will o' the Wisps.
Yeah.
Right? Like the floating ball fairies.
Yeah.
And then I think about the fucking bizarre ass musical that George Lucas made called Strange Magic. That someone forced me to watch. That was about grasshoppers and fairies live and learn to live together.
How about that?
And it's one of the weirdest musicals ever. You know when you watch a musical or a musical movie, specifically, you're like, oh, cool, I can't wait for the song.
Yeah.
Except every song in it is a pop song cover.
Yep.
And none of them are unique. And it's and so the marquee song is Strange Magic. And it's like, George Lucas sucks.
I mean, listen.
George Lucas sucks ass.
If there was an opportunity, and you gotta think. You got to play this out to the end, right? But if you were able to get in his ear back in the 70s and go, listen,
bro,
before you cut to the credits, after the fucking Death Star, right? Right? You need you zoom in on the happy celebration.
And then you zoom in again.
You zoom in on Luke.
And
you zoom in, and you zoom, and you zoom, and you zoom
until you get to the cells.
Until you see the cells, and then within the cells,
there's
you see a little group of characters,
and they're little ghosts,
and they're all having their little life, and then it just says to be continued, so that you can't escape it. You cannot escape it. So then, when Empire comes out, you have to acknowledge it. What was that? You zoom into cells at work. To fucking Osmosis Jones.
I'm going to look something up.
Go ahead.
George. Because I'm familiar, or I'm not familiar. I've recently learned that George Lucas's wife, whose name I cannot remember, had a large effect on those early Star Wars films.
Black Lady.
Particularly in terms of the fact that she was responsible for a lot of the editing.
Okay.
In the original stuff. But what was her name? Her spouse is Marcia Griffin. Here we go.
Not the Black Lady? Someone before that?
Marcia Lou Griffin.
Okay.
Here we go. Divorced in 1983.
Okay.
So, post Star Wars original series, she was long gone. So she wasn't around to go, George, that's fucking stupid.
So there's a ton of versions of that, because the version I heard of that was also Spielberg was hanging around, basically picking up the slack on 2 and 3, on rather 5 and 6, and kind of going, hey, let me like fucking help you with this, and you should probably do that, and you should, and like apparently Steven was helping him out,
and there were a lot of other people involved in those movies.
So there's a ton of these little stories, and we don't know what the full effect of them was, but apparently there's like, okay, he got a lot of help, says a lot of people,
what Kojima
as a way of explaining
fucking
what's
needs.
Up. What does he
Kojima needs a wife or husband, but I'm just assuming here, who goes and says, Genius Kojumbo, my dear, that is fucking stupid. Stop that. And he goes, yes, dear. And he tones it down.
You think the team that he works with doesn't have the same...
I don't think anybody in that studio walks up to him and goes, Genius Kojumbo, that is fucking stupid.
I don't think there's I don't think you can do it. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible. I don't know.
Like, I'm sure there's a lot of like constructive and like collaborative criticism, right? Where it's like, hey man, I don't think, but like I'm talking to somebody who goes like, hey, that's fucking dumb. How come you're dumb that you put that in?
So I don't want to always go back to it, but it's so apt.
He has a wife and son? Well, they need to fucking roll up their sleeves and start punching.
It's apt in its comparison that we talked about how David Cage got reined in. Right, he has the other guy that owns Quantic Dream that started getting in the other people and the writers,
like David,
the writers to sandwich around his shit. So, that decision has to come from whoever hands him the money next.
Yes, right,
because now that Andrew House Eyes is not in the situation anymore, the money is going to have to be the lashes are going to have to bat. And we're gonna have to find I
can't see Kojima working well with like Hollywood producer
types. But it doesn't matter. The point is that like whatever the project is, right? If they get like someone to fund it, then that person would essentially go, all right, we're getting you all this money, but we're also gonna have a couple people to be like, hey man, what's that about? And then maybe, I don't know, But that's bad also, because then those people can be like, put the toys in here. And
yeah, man.
Make that a fucking sponsor thing and get that can closer to the screen.
Hey, Genius Kojumbo, does your character like the Olive Garden?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, actually, that would be no problem. That would absolutely be no problem.
Or better yet, like Demolition Man, where you have a different scene for the store.
That's like legitimately genius.
It's
the way that panned
multiple fucking endorsements.
Because I watched Demolition Man, and for me it was Taco Bell. Was it Taco Bell for you?
I think I saw Pizza Hut.
Yeah, you saw Pizza Hut. I've seen other people say like McDonald's and Burger King. And
I don't even remember. But yeah,
that's crazy.
Next level.
Also, Demolition Man kicks ass. Really bizarre casting as Dennis Leary as that one character. Because it's just Dennis Leary. And he's talking about how I want to drive a car and eat a big burger. And you're like, this is the song that you sang, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
it's weird.
Sure. Yeah. I just remember the blonde hair on Wesley. I remember being like, oh shit, you can do that.
I remember 1980s Sandra Bullock.
Sandra.
And also 1980s Rob Schneider.
Why do I feel like I'm like it's? I know it's not true, but I feel like the first time I ever heard of her was The Net.
I mean that totally possible.
But it couldn't have been because I saw Demolition Man.
Yeah, maybe she wasn't a big star at the time. I'm not familiar.
I don't know.
We're talking about old movie stars now.
I guess.
The kids don't know.
I guess. Yeah, I guess if you're talking about fucking Speed era.
The kids don't know about that movie that had Nicole Kidman in it and Sandra Bullock, but they were witches. I don't even remember the name of it. I think Bette Midler was their mom, or maybe I'm mixing that up with something else.
This is boomer talk now.
Yeah.
Talking about fucking Demolition Man and Speed, and Sandra Bullock is boomer talk.
Yo, Speed kicks ass. I don't care what year it is.
Crazy. It's crazy. How are you gonna walk up to a dude and be like, "Oh yeah, I got my papers right here," as you shake the papers and then there's a knife underneath it? Like, who's not gonna see the knife? It's the stupidest thing ever.
In today's world, the paranoid world that we live in.
He leans over and he pulls out his papers. He's like, "Oh yeah, I got," and he's shaking the papers, and then there's a big shiny fucking knife underneath it. And then he goes clean into the guy. And you're like, you didn't see that?
Yeah, pay attention, man.
It's crazy. It's ridiculous. Remember that part where the old lady is like, "I got to get off this bus."
Yeah, I do.
And it's meant to be like, "Oh, no!"
Oh, man, you remember that part in Die Hard?
And you're just like, "Holy shit, idiot. That's what you get."
Remember that time in Die Hard 3 where Bruce Willis gets attacked by those mobsters in the elevator and he shoots one and the blood goes on his face? And he walks out and Sam Jackson is like, "Oh my God, are you all right?" And he goes, "It's not my blood." Mm-hmm. You're like, "Oh my God, that's so cool. Gotta get those dump trucks, man."
Yeah, no, I'm going back to the old lady on that one.
All right, we're going back to that.
Because the old lady was like, "I gotta get off this bus." And they're like, "No, don't do it." And like, "Don't you understand the situation is you're going to die if you try to get off the bus?" And she's like, "Ah!" And then she fucking, then boom.
Yeah, her foot
and there she goes. No, she's gone.
Oh, yeah.
She blows out and goes flying out the fucking bus. And everyone's like, "Oh!"
I can't believe it. There was a backup thing for blowing up the one person to try and get off the bus.
Yeah, and it was a full-on, like, stakes raised moment type of thing. But, like, it doesn't work because you're like, you're an idiot and you got got.
You deserved it.
That moment is supposed to be like a stakes raised tragic moment, but instead it's just a huge wipeout.
Hey,
and and that's the difference, right? When it's a huge wipeout, you cheer on the wipeout. Yeah. You're like, "Oh, she got it."
Hey, man, I don't know about you, but I need to fucking turn in my cans at the grocery store, but I don't have a grocery cart or some other like trolley. I'll use my baby carriage and just and pull the pram hood up so it looks like I'm shielding the baby's face from the sun, and fill it with cans so that when a bus runs it over, they get to all go fucking crazy. Oh my God, I just ran over a fucking bag. No, it's just cans. It's just cans. It's okay. It's just cans. You know what? You could make a fucking half-second edit to make Speed way darker, and it's don't show the the shot of the cans
don't
falling
do the
out.
after don't do
and
the
just
after
and
effect.
just Keanu Reeves you see him look back and then he just says it was just cans. It was just cans.
What version of the script was it fully actually a baby? And then at some point they just pulled I see the parachutes, they're okay.
Yeah.
Right? At what was it? After everyone walked out of the test screening
and was like, all they could talk about is, "I can't believe they ran over a baby."
I can't believe Keanu Reeves murdered a baby. What the fuck?
Because
and then they went back and they did some ADR.
Yeah, and then they shot the new scene that had the cans fly out of the pram.
And then they were like, "Oh, it's just cans."
Because everybody knows the trolley problem of you pull the lever and you kill the people, or you don't pull the lever. But sure, that bus has 25 people on it.
Yeah.
But it's a baby.
It's a baby.
A baby.
It's a baby.
Right?
Yep. 100%.
You could go what if every person on this bus just happens to be a complete piece of shit?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
But baby's probably not a total piece of shit.
But what if there's a baby on the bus?
Oh my God, there should have been a baby on the bus. There should have been a baby on the bus.
So that's the problem. And then I never saw it, right? You never
saw Cruise Control?
But deep down in my heart, the idea of the same people being stuck on a boat in the exact same situation is my favorite thing about Hollywood and the entire movie industry.
Yeah, that was ongoing for a long time.
I never want to know how and why Sandra and Keanu wound up on a boat with a fucking bomb situation in the exact same way, but the stakes are raised.
Die Hard was
fucking awesome.
Die Hard was really smart about it. Because Die Hard 1 happens, and it's happenstance, right? It's dumb luck. Then Die Hard 2, they play into it like, I can't fucking believe it's the day that I'm at the airport this happens. Me, John McClane.
Yeah.
And Die Hard 3, they're like, okay, it's too much. It completely defies belief. There's no way John McClane would get involved unless the villain explicitly says... You have to have John McClane do this and get involved because ha, and it turns out it's a revenge thing, whatever. Because otherwise, it would just be like, oh, fucking give me a break. Something that the later movies just said, fuck it, John happens to be right next to the Apple guy in this one scene.
Apparently, Keanu did not come back for Speed 2 Cruise Control.
What?
So it was just Sandra then.
And a different guy.
And then, we're on the boat. Now the boat's got to dry up on land and fuck yeah. It's good. It's good.
Of course Die Hard 3 is better than Die Hard 2. Die Hard 2 is the shitty Die Hard. Well, before the later Die Hards happen. Just watch 1, then 2, then 3, and realize that 2 is not as good because none of the plot makes sense because the people who wrote the script don't know how planes work. But okay. Those planes are circling the JFK airport for like 5-6 hours.
You can refill planes in the sky.
You can also divert to a lot of places in the U.S.
Yep.
If you have 5 or 6 hours.
You can go to LaGuardia.
LaGuardia was full in the movie.
Okay.
But with the time period that we're dealing with in that movie, they could have gone to like Vermont, man. They could have gone to Maine. They could have gone to a lot of places.
Boomer movies.
Boomer movies.
Boomer movies.
Boo movies.
Boomies.
Boomies. There we go.
Boomies.
And the boomy calendar ticks forward by a year every year.
Mm-hmm.
What is the stopping? What is the cutoff for the boomy? How many years ago?
And the boomy this year goes to... Yeah, it's
Speed again.
Yeah. No,
because Speed's awesome.
It kicks forward, but it doesn't, though. Because it's always the 80s. The 80s will always be 20 years ago.
That's not true. That's only to you and me. But
that's what I'm saying, though. I'm saying the 80s is forever 20 years ago to us. So that will always, therefore, be that era.
There are a lot of people right now very confused by what you're talking about. But don't worry, guys. It'll happen to you.
The 80s is always 20 years ago.
That's right.
In your heart. It's a feeling in your heart that'll never change, right? The present day is just pushing the real present forward
for those of you
into fake time.
Who are super cool teenagers and listen to this podcast at the age of 16, it won't be the 80s.
No.
It'll be the late 90s or the aughts.
Or the aughts.
Right?
Sure.
But it'll happen. You'll see.
There'll be a point where you're like, time has stopped moving forward. Like it's moving
in memory form.
Yeah, it's moving forward, but it's not real. It's just present. Everything after the year 2000 is just a really long present. But from 1999 and back, it's the actual past.
Well, I'll be quite honest. I'm having a form of temporal disassociation this year as it's 2020.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah. But here's the other thing.
It's not.
Here's the other thing. Like 80s was 20 years ago, but 2005 was a million years ago.
It sure was.
It was a fucking lifetime ago.
I remember growing up and my parents and TV shows of the era and the parents on the TV shows would talk about the 80s and the 70s and the 60s, right? And it was always like the 60s were great and the 70s were not quite as great and then the 80s were fucking dope and now the 90s kind of suck. The 90s did kind of suck, but the aughts were trash. The aughts were the trashest decade of all.
But the 90s retroactively were awesome.
Yeah. But we're at 2020 and the aughts are still trash.
Yeah, the aughts are trash.
So they're done. Fuck them.
The aughts were just trying to do 90s with more money.
And bad.
And it was great. Yeah, no, 90s was still new shit.
Because I can think of like I can think of like 90s music,
Yeah.
right? I can think
identity. It's the identity
I can think
problem.
of tens music. I guess we're calling it tens. I don't know. I just said that. Which would be the past music of, but aughts. I don't know.
Yeah, no, the identity is weaker. It really is. And like the tens definitely brought about a certain look, a certain sound. There's a couple of things that are distinct that you go like, yeah, okay, that was from this era, certainly. But there really is that 2000 to 2010 era of like, stuff.
Yeah.
I guess the internet was happening.
As I became an adult, the world was shitty.
The decade that the internet like solidified itself.
Yeah.
Was also the least distinct.
Because it was all about meme flux.
And the .com boom.
So I talked to Paige about this on stream, and we lamented it. But, Wooly, do you remember the 30 to 50 feral hogs meme?
I remember.
How long did that last, and on what time scale?
30 to 50 feral hogs did not have a lifetime more than 3 months.
I feel like it was actually like a day.
I think it was like, I feel like it was 2 to 3 months.
Okay, that's generous, but it was short, right?
It was extremely short.
Do you remember how long Dat Boy lasted? Dat Boy was a couple months.
Dat Boy was absolutely a while.
All right. Do you remember how long All Your Base lasted?
All Your Base was the entire fucking beginning of that decade.
Do you remember how long those Indian Fanta Chocata commercials lasted?
Fanta Chocata.
With the commercial generator?
Yeah. That was in there for years.
That was a couple years, right?
That was years.
The meme half-life has shortened dramatically.
Yes. Because they're not leaving the same impact anymore.
Back in my day, when you saw a fire meme, you were going to see that meme get remixed. It was the meme of the year.
You're the man now, dog.
You're the man now, dog was around for like 10 years.
It became a domain to catch memes.
And it did. It caught many memes.
They need to weigh in Stain Mother to kill their babbies.
Oh man, I still remember that whole
because
thing.
Their babbies can't fix back.
It was on the news this morning. A mother in R who kill her 3 kids. They are taking the babby to lady to rest.
Truly, I'm sorry for your lots.
May pray with the father or some shit like that. But yeah. But now look at this.
That's a fidget spinner.
This is a fidget spinner.
Wow.
Is this already old?
Okay, now here's the problem. You just ruined it because this proves that you prepped this conversation.
No, it doesn't.
And you brought this out. You pulled that prop out.
I've had this for 10 days. And I keep forgetting to bring it to the podcast. I actually planned to start doing this on my stream as an old boomer man to fuck with people. But instead, I was reaching into my pocket just because I do that. And I was like, oh, a fidget spinner.
Nah. This looks set up and staged, and I don't like it. I don't like this staging. But the point remains.
I just happen to have a fidget spinner.
You just happen to have a point, but the point remains. Cisco being the leader of the gangster crew, that lasted. There was length to that. And
I made a friend of many years now by playing FF14 and saying, like, I'm a gangster, I'm a straight up G, the gangster life is the life for me.
Yes.
And then in chat, someone shooting people by day, selling drugs by night, being a gangster is hell time. I'm like, you're cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Mm-hmm. You know what lasts longer than the funny memes?
What's that?
The horrible ones.
That's right.
The
ones that I'm even like don't even want to say because it will cause the children to look them up.
Yeah. Before the term "not safe for life" existed, there was the
challenges,
the pains,
the
horrors, whatever you want to call it.
Do you have
les sept douleurs?
Do you have the gumption to click on it and learn about how to fuck a dolphin?
So,
Justin Wang has like an exhaustive breakdown of everything on that website.
Yeah.
Did you know that if you were to suck a dolphin's dick and it were to ejaculate, you would die because it shoots at like 14 meters a second?
Sure.
It would snap your neck right off. Don't
very detailed
don't do
website.
it.
Very detailed website. Yeah, man. It was actually a time when you had never had jokes and laughs like this. They were being invented for the first time. Thus, their staying power was massive, right? But it's the exact same effect, and comedy works that way. But it's the exact same effect as to why George Carlin, Pryor, and Eddie Murphy, are all like they've last forever.
Nobody's told jokes like this before. Holy shit!
Yep. It creates a new effect.
Carlin's fucking bit on the 7 words you can't say on television fucking blew people's goddamn minds.
It's all like when it quote unquote breaks new ground.
Yes. Thank you, Mike.
It then that new ground stays exposed to that thing until someone else puts something on top of it.
I had never seen a bunch of Milwaukee drunks fucking complain about movies while tripping over themselves and being sad. But now I've seen it and I love it. It's a new experience.
Yep. No, man. There is no current there is no current meme staying power. The only thing that happens that is comparable is when the lexicon moves forward. When a meme gets pulled in as a part of like the language.
Do you want to hear the worst thing in the world?
Okay.
That I have a friend of mine, and this friend's brother is currently in college. No, he's in high school. And whenever anyone tells a funny joke of, oh man, the brother goes, oh man, that's a good meme. And the word like joke is gone.
Is replaced with meme.
Gone.
Yeah.
It's just meme.
Yep.
And it's just fucking
yeah.
so bad. I hate it.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about people that like. Well, anyway. Yeah, that's fucking throw up in your fucking mouth. But the things that have the staying power then are it's the language stuff, right? So F to pay respects is not going anywhere anytime soon.
That's
here forever.
I've seen like legitimate actual death announcements been met with legitimate sincere Fs.
But I don't think it's going to spread further than it has. I think video people that play games know what it is. People that pay attention to games know what it is.
I remember,
and then to some degree, internet people that are kind of just like on the periffs. Like if you're like an anime kid and you don't really play much games, but you know about that stuff, it's tangentially close enough.
I remember there was if anybody can hit me with the name of the streamer, but there was a Japanese streamer that I remember was talking about death or a character died and their chat exploded in F, and they were fucking completely baffled and had no context
for what it was
and thought that people were like trolling them or just fucking with them, and it's just like, yeah, it's fucking nonsense.
Yeah, that's gonna stick around, because it's a part of the language, right? And it's like unlike a random thing where you'd be like, hey, the punchline is the same meme from 5 years ago, but it's still funny because we all still think it's hilarious.
Like This Is Fine is lasting just fine.
Yeah, that's true. The burn dog.
Yeah. Because there's been variations.
There has been,
and I think it helps a meme when the creator comes out and says, "I hate it."
Yeah.
Because then people meme it up.
There's also fully animated ones.
Yeah.
The flesh melting slowly. But then there's the updated ones where like a big firefighter.
That's from Backdraft.
Is pulling the fucking
that looks
dog
like it's from fucking
out
Backdraft.
Of the fire, and it's like, yeah. So it is evolving. It is growing aware.
Is Feels Good Man still appropriate?
I mean, Peppy is taking on all kinds
new
of
context.
Eight new lives.
I refuse to allow Feels Good Man to be associated with this because I, for real ass, use it in its original context.
Yeah.
Where Paige will ask me, Pat, why are you pissing with your pants all the way down your ankles with the door open? And I will look at her and I will say, it feels good, man.
But here's the thing. Peppy's not going to last. Because Peppy is probably the current version of fucking meme face, original meme face guy.
Oh God.
You know,
Reddit meme face.
Reddit meme face guy. Challenge accepted.
Oh my God. That was bad right away.
Yao Ming face, like, you know, whatever, all that shit, or like whatever the fuck you call that thing, or it's just like talk to a girl and it's like she's got like a bow and it's the same face, where it's like, I look kind of goofy, but I got a bow, like that. I want to say like not BuzzFeed. God, what was that stupid site?
Trollface. You're thinking of the Trollface series.
Rage
Comics.
But there was a website that just fucking.
Well, at some point, it literally became like RageFaceGenerator.com.
9gag.
The
9gag faces. Yes, 100%. Me gusta, all that shit. Yeah.
You know what?
That thing is, if you see one of those now, you get like. You get irrationally upset, right? You get so mad when you see one.
You know what I could go for? I could go for if you guys want to hit up my Twitter at Pat Staresat with some dank old type memes. I could go for a new Insanity Wolf. I could go for a new self-conscious penguin.
2-color spiral.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The advice animal.
Advice animals. Type. Yeah, that's fine. I Can Ask Cheeseburger is fucking ruined. That's gone forever.
You know, Paige didn't know what that was correctly. She thought it was I Can Has Cheeseburger, and everyone stared at her, and it was very awkward.
Well, either way, lolcats, that shit's gone. Yeah. You know, like that. In fact, I wouldn't say lolcats are gone. I would say it just purified.
Cats are just cats.
It just purified into just post cat, just post dog. You don't need to qualify it with anything. Just post a picture of the thing, and it's like, yeah, that's fine. That's good enough.
Just post cat and dog. Follow your cute animal Twitter of choice, and then watch as they forget to change accounts and start liking a bunch of porn Twitters.
Yeah,
and you're like, okay.
But that's where Pepe's going. Pepe's going the way of the 9gag faces. Pepe's going the way of really owl.
Of Velociraptor.
Oh really?
Yeah, really. Yeah, really.
No way.
I don't remember that one.
There was, oh, really? Yeah, really? No way.
Get out.
There's a bunch of owls with their mouths open.
Fuck off.
Yeah, it's fucking, it's gone. It's gone. And you see it now and you get mad. Because you know that someone's auntie posted it. And then sent it to everybody.
Like, it's no longer true that a meme dies when it hits the news. Because that's not enough. Like, memes are dying almost as fast as they become popular. It's sad.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think things so the Twitch shit, right? Kappa, for example, like it's associated with the platform.
Yeah.
So that exists alongside the platform.
Yeah.
It's a part of the language in that way.
I don't understand
Bible Thump's part of the language. Poggers.
What is Poggers?
I don't know.
It appears to be Gutex's fucking face.
Yeah, but it's just a shock face, right?
Okay.
PogChamp. It's PogChamp. You're just like, whoa, holy shit, right? Laughing. This is what's interesting. If you want to get like current, right?
Yeah, let's get
because
current.
The language evolves. Right now, laughing has completely changed into that guy going like this. Right. Whenever something's funny. It's what is the fucking thing called? It is LOL. LLUL.
Oh, it's Total Biscuit.
It's Total Biscuit. Okay. Yeah. So the Total Biscuit is now forever,
which is now double immortalized after his passing. Yeah.
Right? And that is like locked in.
Yeah.
Permanently.
That's what laughter is on Twitch.
Right. And that doesn't go anywhere.
Being sad is Isaac's face. As an example,
Bible Thump.
As I'm looking down, yeah.
Exactly, right. So that's locked. That shit's locked in permanently. But I think that like outside of like chat language purposes, where it's like it's associated with Twitch, there's gonna be, like I said, like things like all the like peppy related faces will probably a couple years down the line be like, all right, well, that was the face then, but that's gone now.
You know what's technically a meme, but I always found it fascinating because it's actually a proper academic meme, is different languages approach to laughing. Like literally I'm typing that I found it funny. So it gets into the situation where if you get into your Counter-Strike match and you see or you can just fucking quit out right now. Just get the fuck away from them. Or VVVVV. You're like, okay. But you gotta get the fuck away from those Brazilians. You gotta get away.
Yeah.
Just get the fuck out.
It's language laughing. Language laughing. It tells you a lot. Anyway, it is truly a society of evolving.
We all live in a society
of evolving language, but I think when it's associated with the platform that people are currently using, that's the lifespan.
What's the mixer laugh?
What? That.
Yeah.
That was it. The sound of one hand clapping.
Yeah? That's good. I actually had a recent experience with Mixer, if we can segue into our weeks, if that's a good time.
Sure.
I started playing a game that was free this weekend. It might still be on Monday. And it's half off. It's called Deep Rock Galactic. Have you ever heard of this?
Nope.
Probably pops up on Steam every now and then, and you go, I don't give a shit about that, and you click off. It's, you know how Payday works?
I know it's a game with clowns that robs stuff.
Yeah, so you get in. And
Heat clowns, right?
Yeah, it's Heat. It's just Heat.
Heat clowns.
Yeah. You get in, you get the materials, you fight off the cops, you run away. So it's kind of that combined with Left 4 Dead, combined with like a Vermintide thing, and it is your space dwarves. You dive in. You got your heavy, your guy with the grappling hook, the guy with the the flamethrower. The different classes. Think of Evolve.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going in to mine rocks. And bugs don't want you to mine the rocks. And it is very simply described as like a Left 4 Dead Payday experience, co-op kind of shooter, but with space mining instead of bank robbery. And it's really good. It's just really, really, really fucking good. What's that?
What's it called again?
Deep Rock Galactic.
Okay.
It's been in early access for like 2 years. Apparently it's going like full release in like 2 months. I was playing it this weekend, had a lot of fun with people. But the reason why I bring it up in regards to Mixer is there's a really hilarious mistake on their options menu. Because on their options menu, you scroll down and in the general options, it says Mixer integration. And it has a button that says Mixer integration, right? And you think like the Vermintide integration or the Dead Cells integration where the chat can type things and things happen, yada yada. And then you mouse over the Mixer button that says log in with your Mixer, and the pop-up descriptive text is enabling Twitch integration will allow your viewers to influence your game and join in. And it's like, you guys forgot to fucking change it when you made whatever deal you made. You forgot to change the tooltip text from Twitch to Mixer. Fucking oops.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. Sure.
Like it was one of the first things I saw in the game, and it just made me giggle. Of just like and the bar, it's like it has like a you have on the left side, it's the integration and it's the title of the feature, and it has a long bar all the way around it. What? And the Mixer integration takes the far most right button, and it really looks like there would be space for two other buttons there.
Yeah.
I don't know, like maybe Twitch and YouTube.
But it's like whoever has to make the phone call to be like, hey guys, I don't know if you noticed, but there's something here that looks, you guys need to, and then whoever's on the other end of the line on that finds out about the bug, it's like, how is your response going to be anything besides,
oops,
hey man, you know what this is, like, hey.
Yeah, we'll change it.
You know what this is, all right? Let's not pretend none of us don't know what this is. That's, Yeah, all right. You're right. It should be the M.
We should have changed the word.
Should have been the M.
But we're just going to change it back later. We were just trying to save time.
Hey, man. Look. Like, that's the response.
What do you fucking want from us? What do you fucking expect here?
Are we gonna pretend that we don't know?
You're going to pretend.
We're going to act like
That's the deal. You're going to pretend.
This is not what it is. You know what this is.
We gave you the money. You're going to pretend. We're all pretending out here.
Can we just, hey, you just have to have an earnest, wordless conversation.
I want to get into this. As somebody who's now primarily a Twitch streamer, every time somebody stands up and goes, man, and they have the PR video, and they're like, man, I can't wait to try and grow my future and really expand and try and do crazy new things. And that's why I am taking my stuff to Facebook Gaming. And you're like, no.
Yeah.
Don't look at my shiny new car and house. Dude. Don't look at it.
The prospect of being off of the major platform is always one of immense riches.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be the hardest thing in the world.
I forget her name, but somebody showed me there was a lady streamer who didn't do it as hard. She was just like, hey, we're gonna be doing new things and going to Mixer. And then like in a separate different post, she's like, I'm so happy to buy my mom a house. Mm-hmm. And you're like, fucking good for you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, buy your mom a house. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sick.
Yeah. I mean, like you heard about, what is it? There's a podcast version of it almost.
Yeah.
Luminous?
Is that whose is that?
I don't know who owns it.
Because there was Tidal there for a bit.
No, it's that was like that was the Jay-Z Spotify.
Yeah.
Luminary was the one where it's like, okay, it's like it's podcast behind the paywall, right? And then up front they'll be like, here is a gajillion.
Yeah.
And
because your numbers are gonna tank.
And this is what you do to like fucking make up for that.
Yeah.
And so there's a couple of like gigantic podcasts that just went like, yeah, we're taking that. And at the end of the day, yeah, the numbers get tanked, and it's like, okay, this is the only place to
podcast
go.
might as well not exist anymore,
right? But the people the podcast might as well not exist anymore, but they're now millionaires.
So fucking sick.
Like, what do you want to say?
You know how Raid Shadow Legends exists? Mm-hmm. I've still not been able to get the number off of anybody because the number is big. The number is, what do you mean you didn't take the Raid Shadow Legends money? What are you, fucking stupid? What are you, fucking dumb?
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, if anybody watching this works on Raid Shadow Legends, hit me up. That's at Pat Staresat on Twitter. Or you hit me on my DMs. I love Raid Shadow Legends. You could, hey.
In there.
Yeah.
In there.
I mean, I would love Raid Shadow Legends.
End of episode 9. Hey, what's your name? Ray.
Raid what?
Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah. Well, anyway, no, there's definitely a point and a place, and certainly there can be a number slid across the table. At which point you go, so our listeners will drop down to 4.
Yes. I forgot.
But here is your life now.
So I forget his name. People in the chat will remember. And if you remember this streamer's name, please let me know in the chat so I can get it correctly for the audio listeners who aren't listening to this live. But there was a guy that when you go to Mixer, they give you a bunch of cash to do the promo video. Right, you remember Ninja and Shroud did these fucking
if you're headhunted over
high production value promo videos.
Sure.
This guy went nah and made a tweet saying, "Yo, I'm going to Mixer," and then gave all the money to charity.
Okay.
And it's like, yeah, okay, great, good job. Like,
it's still. I mean, there's every PAX, every one of these like sort of trade shows and stuff. There's always like the mixer, and there's a bunch of people in there that are like, like going like, all right, well, this is how
saying it's a person named Toast.
Okay.
Toast for Facebook.
Oh, okay. Not Mixer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mixer's trying. I can't believe Facebook is trying.
Well, yeah, I mean, they've got the bankroll to try. And again, the payoff, if it even cracks like if it gets one person, if they get one person who people follow aggressively over there, it's still worth it.
Yeah, I don't think so. The numbers coming out of Mixer that I was checking out were that ever since Ninja moved over, which is the biggest,
that's the crazy one,
is that people have watched about twice as much Mixer, but that has come from about 10 to 20% less viewers. So less people are watching, but they're watching for longer, which seems terrible for a platform.
Growth is one metric, watch time is another.
Yeah.
Whatever, I don't know. But all this to say that doesn't change the fact that phone call is gonna be what it is, which is, hey man.
Yeah.
And that's that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Deep Rock Galactic's really good. If you like co-op, shooty, heisty, Left 4 Dead-y kind of experiences, go check that out. I might stream it like next week or whatever.
We say Heat, but I mean it's also really just the intro to Dark Knight Rises, or Dark Knight rather.
Yeah, but like Heat existed decades earlier,
which it certainly did. I guess the clown masks is what works its way in there.
Yeah,
but yeah, cool.
Oh, also, if you want to check out the crap that I do, which is stream video games, you can check that out at twitch.tv/PatStaresAt. Addition to the usual schedule. Normally, I don't stream Monday nights.
What genre of game is Payday?
Payday? Cooperative.
Is it
heister?
But where's the camera?
It's a shooter. It's an FPS game.
It's an FPS game.
Yeah, same thing with Deep Rock Galactic.
Okay.
Horde shooter, co-op shooter, stuff like that.
Okay.
So I don't usually stream on Mondays because I do this here podcast. But today, because that motherfucking FF7 demo came out, I'll be streaming that FF7 demo at 7 p.m. Eastern over at twitch.tv/PatStaresAt. Tomorrow, I'll be doing a sponsored stream by a game by Focus Home Interactive called Curse of the Dead Gods. It's like a Bastion-y, like roguelike looking thing.
Those are good words.
It looks like a Cthulhu Hades. Like instead of Greek myth, it's Cthulhu. And then the rest of the week will be RE6, which is oh my god, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. You ever? Hey, Willie, you've gone back and played old games. How many times are you like remembering a game? You're like, yeah, it was kind of bad, and then you go back and it's actually way worse than you remember it being. Like way worse. And you're like, oh, I kind of gave it a free pass because it was new or something.
When was the last time that happened? Boy, I don't know.
Was it DMC 2? Like when we threw it in for that 10 minutes?
It might. That's probably it. That's probably it. I haven't been down in the shitter for quite some time.
Yeah. It's markedly worse than I remember. It's one of those games where every 5 to 10 minutes you're going, huh? What? But shouldn't? But what? But why? It's terrible. Don't play it. Come watch me play it. That's it for me, really. I just played DRG and played FF14.
Okay.
What about you, man?
Okay. Well, I had a week of a couple different things going on in terms of what I played. I guess the most notable is just went back through Vanquish.
Took you about an hour.
I mean, wasn't that long, obviously, but So the LP going through is, like I said, is Min playing it for the first time, and I was just kind of like, playing alongside on my own.
You can bang that out in the afternoon, no problem.
Yeah, you can bang that shit out. Totally. And there's, again, I talked about like all the things, attack, you don't want to overwhelm, all that jazz and whatnot. There's definitely something to it where if you do the thing that Min does, which is the min maxing, as we call it, right, where you grind out all your weapons, you grind out all your things,
yeah,
you get everything up to like max level,
yeah, the big metal.
Boy, does that game become a joke.
Yeah,
at least on normal, right, because like there's moments where, like, I mean, besides damage and everything being really strong, you're mowing people down, but also like any real crazy challenging bosses or moments, you've got 8 EMPs to drop.
Bam.
So you're you're used to 3, and then deal with it, and now it's like, oh man, that unknown is just, you just fucking drop it, and it kind of is interesting in the sense that I'm like, oh wow, that's something I didn't really know, in the sense that I was like, yeah, you really do just kind of fly through normal with like that. But there's a bit of a moment where, and like, for better and for worse, as a result of that, when your limiters come off, you might not even really get to fully appreciate the moment, because of how hard things are melting.
I love Vanquish, but I really dislike its weapon upgrade system.
Its weapon upgrade system is super flawed.
Because
it's super flawed.
Like, hey, do you love this weapon?
Don't ever use it. It's that's bad, right? And I feel that, like, while it does serve the purpose of like making that final moment feel really good, you really, like, the handcuffs on you that is the AR meter.
Yeah.
There are times you're like, can I just...
You overheat after one melee.
Can I just get a little bit more juice out of this thing? And that's kind of the deal, right? You're like, if only, right? Or like a mode you would unlock that would be limitless.
Juicier AR mode,
but there never was. There never was a like limiter release like mode to play the game.
I will say that Vanquish is one of the games that used the achievement system to its fullest, with one achievement, which was the achievement that you got for absolutely redlining your AR on a dash
to the final pixel,
and then letting it go,
but not letting it overheat,
and just like do that.
This is teaching you what to do.
A little achievement thing came up, was like, do that
100%, right? Or like, hey, distract like 10 guards with a cigarette at the same time.
Yeah,
like, oh, that's what that's for, right? But you absolutely do, like, kind of get this thing. You're like, man, like, after you beat a Devil May Cry game, if you feel like just stomping and having fun, and
you certainly can,
right, and just practicing combos, you can just fucking pick SDT and not SDT, rather, Super Dante.
Yeah, you gotta unlock those, but that's after you already, like, there's nothing left for you in the game. You've already stomped it all.
Yeah, but you can pick Super Dante or Super Corrupt Virgil, whatever you want to do, and just fucking stomp through it with infinite DT, and then, like, it's a joke, but in the process of just stomping through it, you can practice things.
Do dumb shit you wouldn't be able to do otherwise.
It's a training mode before a training. You know what I mean?
Like, I remember using Super Dante and DMC3 to do some of the secret missions.
Yeah. Because,
like, I just couldn't do them for whatever reason. Then you do them with Super Dante, and you're like, okay, yeah, I got it. No problem.
Nailed it. Yeah. So that's it, right? And I don't know why Vanquish doesn't do that. Definitely should.
Because Shinji Mikami doesn't believe in that shit.
Yeah.
Even though he totally does, because the Resident Evil games had rocket launchers.
I don't know. Like, it feels like it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world with this secondary release to kind of go, by the way, we added in this little thing.
There's a lot of things I would have actually appreciated about that weapon upgrade system if it just changed a little bit. What if they stayed and you could New Game Plus it, but then the difficulties were made assuming that you
already had
you were coming weapons in with beefed up stuff.
Totally.
Because then you could get to a point where, like, yeah, I'm going to play it on God hard, and it's really hard, but it's not really stupid hard, because I'm coming in with at least my machine gun is completely upgraded or whatever.
Yeah, or just be like either give upgrade boxes more often or just make it so that like you don't have to be full ammo to get an upgrade up.
Honestly, I would have preferred that game if it had no upgrade system whatsoever.
That's fine. Alternatively, you could have had you always have all the gun types on you. You just don't always have ammo for them.
Sure.
So you could switch around and play with that.
Yeah.
A weapon wheel.
It's these things where you have these games that are immaculate, but there's just that one thing.
Yeah.
So in Resident Evil 2, the remake, I don't know if you did the B scenario, but when you do the B scenario, you or second run, it's called in that version, you get a different handgun at the very start, and the different handgun uses different bullets.
Yep.
But the problem is, and all the bullet pickups are replaced with the new type of bullets, but the gunpowder that you make still makes the old bullets. So now you're juggling between two handguns.
Extra inventory space.
It's annoying as fuck. It's not even the inventory space. It's just that it's annoying as fuck.
Okay.
So download a little mod that just replaces all the pickups with the old ammo, and you just throw that new gun in the garbage and just use the regular handgun. And it plays a lot better.
On PC.
Yeah.
I think if I were to look at it, right, especially now having recompleted it, I think what I would say is, like, especially considering how you throw the story in the garbage. Just don't even talk about that. Right?
What are you talking about? It's so deep. They blew up San Francisco.
It's a series. It's a series of missions on a menu. I think
I'm Steve Bloom.
What you want to think about, right, in the case of Vanquish, is what would the optimal, sickest version of Sam be, and what would the funnest thing you could do for the player be, right, within what the framework of this game is. And two things come to mind. One, like I said, the limited released version, right? But you might even run into the speed you fucking boost at. You might even run into draw distance issues on some levels.
There's only one room in the game they give it to you, and it's a sealed room.
It's a box, right? So there might even be like, oh god, we can't get the assets in fast enough. Might be real, right? Who knows? But it's from 2 gens ago, so whatever. If you one, you give the player that, and two, weapon switching for maximum style. Those two things combined would allow fucking Sun High Legend would be able to just go to town. Like it would be the most stylish, beautiful thing, right? And I feel like you then would be able to balance God Hard against that ability set and create super God Hard. Right? But that's not what they did. And it might have been lack of budget, might have been lack of time, but it doesn't even it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, it didn't even need to be a Vanquish 2. It just needed to have a little bit more consideration put towards like how much fun the player is going to have using this suit to its maximum, and the reward for going through everything, a weapon wheel and unlocking that extra bar. Not even unlimited, just extra bar, obviously, would be like the definitive Vanquish experience, I think. But dear God, it's still one of the most stylish, super cool shooters ever made. It's still like an amazing platinum game that was slept on, and it's still like a Mikami banger.
And it's still being slept on today.
Yes. But for what it's worth, like the ideas in that thing, I don't know if there are any other shooters that come close to touching any of them. I feel like stylish rolling and shooting,
that's a pretty rare genre.
Happens sometimes, but not often. It never involves crazy boost tech.
No.
It never involves flips and melee and all that shit, Like it just doesn't exist. So Vanquish continues to be the only kind. The only of its kind,
Good old Vanquish.
But yeah, all that to say that we went through and had a good time with it. To be fair, when people were trying to show me the coolest shit in Warframe, there were moments.
Warframe has... the problem with Warframe is really simple. There's nothing that threatens you.
Yeah.
When all that cool shit is going on, It's the problem that DMC has at the high level. It's like there's nothing that will stop you. Absolutely nothing. Warframes at high enough level are either functionally invincible or are putting out so much damage that nothing can get within a radius of them.
Okay. And it's PvE balanced, right?
Yes, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's just not balanced at all.
Meanwhile, Guns the Duel, another stylish shooter, similar issue, although it's like it's PvP balanced, you know, and also rife with cheaters. And
I'm being informed that self-damage in Warframe is gone, and that they are rebalancing the armor scaling.
Okay.
Which was the single biggest problem with enemy scaling in the game.
Interesting.
What you had a problem was you had enemies that were their health scaled, enemies were their shield scaled, and enemies were their armor scaled. And armor is just, functional hit points. But the curve on the armor raised so much faster than the other two that every build is how well does your character strip armor, because the other two you'll be able to brute force with numbers, but not this shit. We're talking like millions and millions of HPs. And if they fix that, then maybe they will be able to create things that can hurt you. That would be nice. Warframe's kind of a fuck right now.
Well, that's cool, but that's still certainly not, like I said, that's certainly not the exact itch we're talking about scratching, though.
Yeah.
So
like,
it's sad to think that like Vanquish will be the only Vanquish in history.
I can't even. What the fuck else?
But that's where
quantum
we're at.
theory.
Yeah,
no.
Come on.
There's a lot of stop and pop games, but
cover shooters are cover shooters.
A lot of stop and pop games don't have a lot in between the stop and or pop.
Yeah. Or yeah, exactly, right? And it's like this is like I said, Vanquish is the game where like the action takes place in between the cover change, right? The roadie run from one to the other, or the tactical roll from one to the other. This is where you do a crazy ass fucking.
You know
flip.
what? I can think of one called Control.
Control.
It's not that type. It's not speed action, but you're doing shit. You're doing cool ass stuff.
The glimpses of end game Control were pretty nutty. That's true.
Yeah, that becomes a very different genre.
You're a Jedi. Yeah.
Yes, you're a Jedi.
Yeah.
You can also fly.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Vanquish good.
Vanquish good.
Vanquish good.
Control good also.
Vanquish suit.
Can't believe Sam and that suit never showed up anywhere. Drives me crazy.
Sickest design.
It's a great design.
Sickest design.
And more frustrating than that, and I've complained about it every single time Vanquish is mentioned, and I will never stop. You only get to see what it looks like to other people once in one cutscene. And he doesn't do the crazy stuff. He just slides.
Yep.
I want to see what Sam looks like in a fight to the people on the outside.
Yep.
It's like I want to see, like we want to see what is the outside observer's perspective of Dio or the Flash or anybody who moves quickly.
It's the power armor version of Jehuti.
Yeah.
In terms of just like, dear God, that design is like beyond the scope of the world it's in. It's so strong,
Yeah.
But anyway. Played some board games. I played a couple of different things this week. We had a Table Lords where we sat down.
Anything as murderous as Dokapon?
Nothing as murderous as Dokapon. This time we went with Channel A, which is a card game where you draw, like you take turns being the producer, and someone is basically gonna draw 2 words that are gonna be a concept for a show they want pitched.
All right.
And then you, the pitch person,
Pitchman,
has to make an elevator pitch for an anime that does not exist, and then do your best in the fucking 30 seconds. Sell it, right? And the words are all anime as fuck.
Yeah.
And they're great. Really fun game.
Is there a word isekai in that deck?
There probably is. And if not isekai, it would be like world or virtual
Transported to
world,
another
V
world,
world,
or
whatever.
whatever.
Yeah. So, for example, if I were to reach into this deck and draw out cards at random,
This is easily the best way to demonstrate this. I love this type of explanation.
I drew 4 cards.
Yes, and they are,
and I'm going to arrange them in a coherent order.
Pseudo-coherent order. Coherent? That's not the word. Coherent.
Here we go. Show title
Is...
Perfect.
Yeah.
Cosmic.
Yeah.
Love.
Yeah.
Rocket. Perfect Cosmic Love Rocket.
That's just Space Dandy.
That's the name of the show.
Just Space Dandy.
That's the name of the show.
Yeah.
And like that's it, you know? And the whole deck is just all kinds of shit like that. And words that have been used by like multiple shows.
That's about your dick,
right?
In space.
There are great ones that like
that reminds me.
there are great ones that are like punchlines we've used in the past, like 120% is absolutely in there, you know. So we went through and played it and had a really fun time coming up with some shows where I think the goal is reached when we finish the round and everybody votes on the winner, and then we all kind of go, fuck me, I want to watch that.
Yeah, I want to watch that.
I would fucking watch that. Happened at least 4 or 5 times, and like I'm like, okay, mission accomplished. The game did what it needs to do.
Like Space Patrol Luluco is almost on that exact naming convention.
There
Inferno
are
Cop.
Well,
oh, by the way, rest in peace, Inferno Cop. Sorry, buddy.
Yes. Those words are in there. You can create real titles, by the way.
Great.
You can accidentally create real titles, and you just have to figure it out. Space and Patrol are 100% cards in there. Yeah, I'm just like Full Metal Muscle Penguin. You know, there's things that are just like V in there.
Just the word V.
It's great.
Or A, depending on how you hold the card.
J is in there. Yeah. I want to say like some of there's some really cool titles. I want to say Punch Mom, having no anime background whatsoever, was able to pull out some pretty impressive stuff. Had a cool show name. I think it was Sakura Blue Flash.
Okay.
I'm like, ooh, I'd watch that. That's a cool name.
That's just Sonic in high school. That's just Sonic High School.
Whatever the case may be, the difficulty is fitting the premises together.
Yeah.
And then we also did some audience as the producer, and we have to pitch to the audience. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know about you, but the audience is kind of a bunch of dumbasses.
Not great.
Oh, man.
But it was good. It was good. So we got to that on Table Lords. We also got to play Hanabi. And Hanabi is essentially, imagine group Go Fish Solitaire.
Okay.
Except you can't see your cards. So the goal of the game is to have 5 suits go from 1 to 5 next to each other, like Solitaire. Okay?
Okay.
And we can only play a higher number than the one on the table. Right? So red 1, red 2, red 3, red 4, red 5. Blue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, green, yellow, white. But when we get our hands of 4 cards apiece, you hold your cards backwards and you cannot see your own cards.
Oh.
Everyone else can see your cards.
That's weird.
And you have to basically take turns going around, and you're trying. It's cooperative because the goal is to together to try and complete as many of those rows as possible. But holy fuck, does it become brutally competitive because everyone's an asshole when they don't remember the information you gave them, right?
Oh, man.
So every turn you're allowed to either give a piece of information, attempt to play a card, or discard one, right? And replace it with something else.
It seems like a solitaire version of that game where you're trying to guess what's on your forehead.
It's a little bit of that. And the problem is when somebody doesn't remember some information you fucking gave them, and they go, oh, what do I do? And you're like, you asshole, you're going to ruin everything. Yeah, that's the game.
You asshole, you're going to ruin everything.
Right. I
feel like a lot of board games actually break down to that premise.
It's what we were talking about where it's like, what's worse, an incompetent partner or getting stomped on in a competitive way.
Incompetent partners.
And this is
always
so this is where we're at, right?
It's always the worst.
So yeah, we had a couple of games of that, and man, does it get fucking hard. That was a good time. And then lastly, we tried out $1 Million Butt, which is one of those games we got from Rooster Teeth.
Yeah. Which
was their kind of like match to apples to apples style game.
Okay.
So you just kind of go $1 million, but something horrible.
Yes, as always.
And then you have to pick which one you would not do for the $1 million.
Oh, and you get to see where everybody's personal line is.
Exactly.
I don't know, $1 million is $1 million.
Exactly. So how bad can it get? And there's some bad ones.
You know that one where it's like, hey, if you hit this button, you'll get $1 million, but somebody out there will die.
Yeah.
I feel like that is a logic puzzle failure. Because it's somebody you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will hit that button.
A lot of people would hit that button.
With, like, no hesitation.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like 50-50 whether or not they're, like, a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it could just be win-win.
I mean, statistically, like, anyone capable of committing murder for less would press that button for free.
That's right. You're right.
So then take those numbers and then add the, like, you know, the incentive of whatever situation. Yeah, for sure. But anyway, in this case, the cards involve things such as, like...
what do you got?
Okay, well, $1 million, but every time you enter or exit a building, there is a 10% chance that your next shower is diarrhea.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, that's not great.
I would not take that $1 million.
No, you wouldn't. And that's where that's where we're at.
I would not be able to do that.
And that person would win. Right?
I'm sad now.
Yeah. And some of them are more just psychological. Some of them are more just like $1 million, but every time you hear a baby cry, everyone in the world will have a secret that they'll never tell you.
Wait, every time?
Every time you hear a baby cry, the world will get together and have a secret that only you are not allowed to know.
Better not have kids, or else, like,
yeah,
the sum totality of human knowledge will quickly outpace you.
Yeah. So that's the weird stuff, right? So that's where you get into places of like, okay, so a diarrhea shower at 10%.
10% is really high.
It's a pretty high percentage chance, right?
That's really high.
Very, very high, right? And you don't know, like...
Because you could have the shower and hit with the poo, and then you go to shower off the poo and get hit with the poo again.
And then what if you walk into a building and forget something and walk out? Then it stacks.
Oh, it stacks.
Right? Then you got to think about, you got 2 showers queued up, right? Now what, right? So there's all kinds of shit like in there, right? And of course, there's possibly, sure, you can come up with solutions such as, I don't know, never take a shower again.
Switch entirely to baths.
Only baths. Yeah. But either way, you know, like you get that, or you get the horror of what does everyone know that they're not telling me, and you know that they know something.
Yeah.
And you don't know what it is. It's probably about you.
You can get $1 million, but there is a 1 in 10,000 chance every day that somebody will stab you with a syringe filled with their own semen.
Yeah, right in the butt.
Right in the butt. Which is real and did happen. And I am not crazy.
I like the fact that
let's use our words carefully here.
I like learning
through
footage what the type of person who does that behaves like immediately after doing it.
What was that?
Right? Like, it's really interesting that you're so fucking gone that you know what's up, so you have to do it without shame and hide it.
Yeah.
Right, do it with shame and hide it and be like, oh, I just got you, right? And then look around and go, I don't know what happened. And then just kind of wander out. And it's one of those bits where you're like, it's almost better that you just be brash out loud.
Haha, I did it.
Full on nutty homeless version of that.
Yeah.
Because the version where you still have shame and you're like, and are you just gonna go then like jack off to the memory? Like
it was kind of uplifting to see that once people could actually see the fear, there was an explosion of, oh yeah, that is a nightmare.
That's a nightmare.
That is a real nightmare.
That's a nightmare.
Because if somebody shoots you or stabs you, you know what that means. But if somebody stabs you with the mystery syringe, that could be anything, including nothing, which is one of the worst. Because air is bad in your body.
It's so baffling to think that, like, that's going to do it for you, you know?
It's extra crazy that the guy's name is Steemens, which is an anagram of stab and semen.
And again, you do this weird thing, create a weird interaction that's completely, like, it's just, again, it's like it's only the memory that I suppose that you're gonna enjoy.
This shatters every societal law.
Yeah, but would you do it for $1 million though?
No.
And here's what's fun: is as time goes on, $1 million means less and less and less.
That's right. Invest it.
So now that starts to become really nutty.
Yeah, $1 million now is not the $1 million that we thought of when we were kids.
When we were kids, right?
It's actually like less than half as much or whatever.
Probably, you know.
And compared to our parents' generation, where it was like, well, you're double super set for life.
Yeah, I don't know how much it would be now, but it's like $1 million felt like you're good forever. You're done.
At one point during our lives, it totally was.
Nowadays, I don't know what that number would be, but it's not that.
Yeah.
So
if you win $1 million right now, if anybody whatever, just fucking go buy a really nice house in a good neighborhood. Land is good. It's the only thing they don't make anymore.
Also, we're talking million after taxes.
Yes.
So
the taxes.
You know.
Always with the taxes.
Well, yeah. That's what you got to do. It's that season.
Taxation is tough.
All right there, Ron Paul. What's up?
Oh, it's funny. Libertarians are hilarious.
You want to talk about auditing the Fed?
I don't know what that is.
You got to audit the Fed, bro.
How does that even work? What does that mean?
Because the Federal Reserve, is full of shit, and they've been bullshitting people for years, and they need to be audited themselves.
Well, yeah, fucking everybody in the government's a thief.
So audit
But
them.
they still build roads and shit.
They get to audit you. Why don't we get to audit them? We're paying them.
Because they have the backing of, like, the armed forces and the fucking FBI and the RCMP and the police.
Apparently,
like,
yeah.
Also, because we live in a society. We do, though. We do live in a society.
Well, anyway, the market will sort itself out.
The market will provide.
Thoughts and stuff and things.
Thoughts and stuff and things.
Yeah, $1 million, but
yeah.
So you would probably have a very difficult time playing this game.
You know, I would probably lose that game readily.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's also, I imagine it's also a situation in which somebody with less overt neuroses, gets to discover new awful things about yourself.
You do confront the girth and gate of new horrors.
Where you're like, oh, I didn't ever think of this once in my whole life, and now I realize I'm afraid of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you absolutely confront that. And then of course there's the full on backfiring that is someone like Min, who's like, yeah, I have no problem with all of these.
I'll just do it. I'll just do it. I don't care.
You don't even have to pay me.
Yeah, I'll do it.
You know, you're just like, oh god, okay, this is
breaking down.
Yeah. And then you have your middle of the roads, right? So you, on the one hand, you got the 10% diarrhea proc.
That's right.
On the other hand, you got the big secrets. Oh, hey, hold on a minute.
Wooly has a knock at the door. Who could it be?
I think it's Stuff.
I'm going to go pee while this happens.
Right.
Goodbye for now.
Hey,
we're back. What's up with that?
well, where did it even go?
Where'd what go?
Where'd I throw it?
What'd you throw?
I fucking tossed my shit.
Okay. That's good.
Pop filters are different.
Yeah, we changed our pop filters.
Amazon just delivered them right now.
Hey, what's up with the delivery people in your home having a moral compunction against doorbells?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It's really weird. It's kind of like, hey, I don't know why you don't want to press the doorbell. There it is.
I recently had an experience in which a guy tried to open my door into my home after knocking and giving me 5 seconds. And then when I ran up there, I pointed at my doorbell and said, hey, dude, ring the doorbell.
There's a button.
And he said, I did. I rang it twice. And I looked at him and went, no, you didn't.
Yeah. My phone goes off when you press it. That means that no matter where I am, I'll hear it. So you should probably press the fucking button. Well, anyway. Yeah, there we go. Now we there's new tech and it's
slightly more professional.
And it's less face blocky. So
oh, yes.
People can see the big old fucking soup catcher.
Our good old meme faces that we create.
Got your soup catcher there. There you go. Exactly. Now there's a million more possible emotes to be created without that annoying, pesky, big pop filter.
More like meme motes.
Right? Look at that. Anyways, board games, table lords, all of that good, happy horse shit was a lot of fun this week. And if you would like to see that shenanigans, also, of course, some more things like KOTOR 2 and Doom continuing. Check out Wooly Versus on YouTube. There's also Wooly Versus on Twitch. Wooly Wolves on Twitter. Man, just keeping it brief, but KOTOR 2 dialogue boss battles.
Isn't it incredible?
I fucking adore them.
So now you're getting hit with Obsidian.
Yeah.
Obsidian.
Yeah. Like, I was like, after that session, I was like riding high the rest of the day. Like, holy fuck, that was so good.
Do you now understand what I meant when I'm like, I think KOTOR 2 is literally the best thing to ever happen to Star Wars?
But again, I'm starting to touch it. I'm just starting to touch it, you know? So really, really good. Yeah, all of that coming soon on Wooly Versus. And since Vanquish is done, that means that it's about time to crack open a new LP.
Oh.
So this week, probably going to take a look at something new.
Is it a surprise?
Yeah.
All right.
It's fun to surprise people.
Yes.
People like surprises.
I have a segue from surprises.
What's that?
Because there's something I forgot to talk about during my week.
Go ahead.
I'm a little behind, but I did watch episode 7 of our ever popular show, Interspecies Reviewers. Now, in the past, we've had episodes in which they fuck a bunch of mushroom chicks or will-o-wisps or build their own chick at a golem thing or turn into chicks and get fucked by hyena women. And you're like, all right, this is all pretty weird. But how are they gonna keep this going for a full 12 episodes? And then you hit episode 7 and you're like, oh, that's how they're gonna keep it going. By getting into the stuff that's weird even for its own setting. Where we find out, hey, you know how a lady in the real world will have an ovulate and they'll have their time of the month? But what if it was a bird person? Or a lizard person? Or a fish person? Would you go to a Waterworld style exhibit and sit in the stands and watch bird people and snake people give birth to eggs live on stage? For money?
But that's not...
You going to see a show.
But where's
You're going to see a show.
Where's the sexy part of that?
You're going to see... Well, the show does a really good job of having the normal human or human-ish characters be like I don't get this. This is fucked.
Yeah, I don't get it.
But there are also characters that are Lamias and Snake Men and Mermen.
And why would they?
Because they want to eat the eggs fresh.
Because it's delicious.
Right out the cloaca.
Because it's food.
Because it's food.
But that's food. That's not sex.
Isn't it?
So it still doesn't work.
And then we cut to a shot of, oh man, the mermen got so excited they came in their tank, and you got mermen trying to run from the other mermen's tank juice.
No, like I understand that the simple choice here is to nope out because ooh gross. But I refuse.
You refuse to do
this. I stand.
Yes.
I stand and I question, because essentially, as much as it's like, you know what, you just the brain begs to eject from the conversation.
Yeah.
But I reject your hypothesis.
My hypothesis.
I reject your hypothesis.
You have now done. Congrats, Wooly. You've successfully framed this as my point of view.
What you are putting forward.
What I am putting forward
is that when the egg is birthed,
yes,
that there is an attraction from people who would find that egg to be delicious.
Yes.
I guess combined with...
But also ovulation
some sort of arousal.
Ovulation is an inherently sexual act.
But if one were to fry bacon...
That's right.
And waft it towards you, that would just make you go, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
You don't get hard over bacon.
That's true. But some people do get excited over eating male reproductive products, which is also technically food.
See, because...
And that is the argument put forth against your exact line of thinking in the episode when someone brings it up.
Because the delicious food button in your brain is not the same as the, like, ooh, fun,
this
sexy.
Discussion occurs. They thought of it all.
And the answer is some people like eating dicks.
Some people just like eating dicks.
But that doesn't...
I'm telling you.
That's a hand wave.
I'm telling you that if human women dropped eggs that you could see, there would be a whole industry around it.
I don't disagree with that. However, that's also like not an egg you're going to want to eat.
You don't know that.
Because now we're just cannibals.
Wooly.
Because now we're just vor.
Yes. They didn't give it a very good review.
Okay. And it was probably an obscure...
Except for the snake guy.
I'm not...
Who gave it a very good review.
Someone is into anything. So there's always going to be...
But so here's the thing,
a place.
Because the show...
But it can't be commonplace.
The show started out with, hey, man, cat girls, Nioh, right? Cowgirls, moo with the titties.
Yeah.
And then they blew through all of that shit super fast. And it has, like, we're 7 out of 12 now, and it has jumped to somebody's into it.
Yeah.
And so, like, you can chart it, and now I'm, like, afraid.
Yeah.
Of, like, the 10th, 11th, and 12th episodes.
Because the idea that somebody's into it is like, uh-oh. That doesn't go anywhere good.
This could go anywhere.
So, but, like, if the conclusion they draw at the end is an overwhelming majority of people are not into this, but there are some that are.
There are some that think it's rad.
We just finished talking about Jizz Syringe Man.
Yes, we did. We did talk about that.
Syrinjizz Man.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a bots master name. They call me Syrinjizz. I use my sword and how it's Zinji.
But like,
but that is not going to ever be a commonplace understanding. So as long as I guess they come to that conclusion, then I suppose that makes sense. But dear fucking God, that means the limiters are off.
Yes. We've hit the episode where most of the cast is trying to ditch. Where could it go from here? I don't know.
The answer is Syrinjizz.
No. I'm going to assume...
That's where it can
I'm
go.
I'm going to assume there will be an episode in which they take, like, shortening potions that make them tiny people. So that they may be ingested in some form. I would put money down that there will be a Vor episode of Interspecies Reviewers.
Go grab whatever the least. Go to your favorite website and arrange by popularity,
and then go to the bottom
and click twice. Arrange by popularity and then click twice.
And
then you know where you're going.
Like it's a really cool idea that they're using this what is essentially a hentai anime that preys on audience titillation, and it is now turning against the audience. It's fucking. It's fucking something else.
It would be awesome if it were a slow, because 12 is not a lot. But it also is a lot if they're always half an hour, so there is a lot to cover.
They usually do 2 an episode.
They do 2 an episode. Yeah, okay.
They're not always, but so most of them.
If the goal is to get everyone like to jump off ship,
so
at some point.
Well, the episode 1 was elves, human beings, and cat
girls. Yeah.
So like
the most upfront.
Okay, then you move on to Minotaur cow ladies.
Stretching it, but here we are.
Okay, then it's like a salamander lady that looks like something you'd see in somebody's art page, or now it's mushroom people. Now it's like a fucking Disgaea looking demon chick, succubus,
sure.
And now it's gender swapping.
So that's
now it's robots.
See, but that's why that's the difficulty with the size stuff, because if the size stuff is still involving someone that you're ultimately like attracted to, then
wait, what are you saying?
I'm saying that a lot more people. If you're trying to get everyone to jump off, you have to make it size combined with.
Oh, they already did the size thing.
Oh,
but in reverse, with the fairies that are like Tinkerbell size.
Right.
But then they're gonna do the opposite.
Okay.
They're gonna do the tiny jam.
Now we shrink.
The spelunking.
We shrink.
Yeah, just jam them in there.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, you need people to jump off. You're trying to get them to abandon ship.
Yeah.
Before it hits the end.
Yeah.
And so it's not enough to just shrink the size and also go, but here's a gigantic woman that you're otherwise attracted to. You gotta go hard on it. You gotta swerve somewhere on that.
Somewhere more than just.
It's not just a human.
What if it's a resort inside her pussy? That you can hang out in because you're tiny.
Okay.
And then there's the water slide, and there's the...
Not at all where I was going with that. I just meant change the race. Change it to a fucking Medusa half beholder weird thing.
Okay. You can't look.
That's it. That's all I meant.
You got to watch the show because you're not hitting weird enough.
Okay.
We can't put that one as the podcast title, can we?
Absolutely not happening.
Because it has a swear word in it.
I mean, not just that, but like I'm not.
I'm
gonna keep that,
Yeah? You don't get to say that after you fucking changed it the other week.
Well, listen, man.
Deep Nut Miracle. Deep Nut Wheelchair Miracle.
That's a super abbreviated version.
Did you see the guy who got in trouble at work?
Sure did.
That's awesome.
Retweeted that shit.
What are you downloading on the Wi-Fi at work, sir?
See, the problem is when you go into Rick and Morty rules.
Yeah.
And then you're at, how small are you? Are you so small that you can be like, oh, this is the beach of the resort.
Okay.
This sand is yeast.
Yeah. No, I got it. Finale of Interspecies Reviewers. Get really tiny, right? And then you go hang out at the resort in one of the internal flaps, and then the girl entertains another regular sized client, and you get the bird's eye view of the whale entering the cavern. And then everybody has to put on their raincoats.
We're going to take a quick word from our sponsors. We'd like to take a quick word from our sponsors. This week, the podcast
is sponsored
by, hey guys, it's Bombas.
Hey, Bombas.
Socks.
Dude, you know what I'm wearing right now?
Socks.
I am wearing one good sock and one bad sock.
Don't do that. You need the good quality socks, right? You know what's annoying? When your socks have holes in them and they're all worn out because the material's garbage.
That's right.
And then like, oh, what'd you get for Christmas? A bag full of all these bad quality socks? What's that good for? Nothing.
It doesn't last until next Christmas either.
It's garbage. You need good socks. Good socks are comfortable and wholesome. You feel wholesome when you wear good socks. Tell you what.
Nice, dry, clean pair of high-quality socks.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, start the day.
Sunday morning, clean socks, fresh out of the shower. Put them shock socks on, keep your toesy woesies, all good. And, quite frankly, it gets even better if the socks you're putting on are made of a lightweight polycotton blend, so that no matter how hard you're working, they stay cool, dry, and comfortable. Never sweaty.
I don't know how moisture wicking works, but it seems to be sorcerous.
It really can be gross when, again, those awful socks, the bottom side starts to feel like a skin that gets leathery.
I don't like this.
I
don't like what you're saying.
Leathery socks.
Yeah.
Because the bottom has been stepped on so much that the texture gets awful.
Mm-hmm.
It's not wholesome. We're wholesome over here.
We're trying.
And we're trying to give you wholesome advice. And that means you should consider Bombas socks. They give you support in places you didn't even know you needed it. Like your arches. They got the special arch support system. It's not too tight. It's like a nice hug around your foot. A foot hug. See? Wholesome.
A foot hug. I like that.
There you go. They even got rid of the annoying toe seam every sock has.
How do they do that?
Which is crazy. That's like just science.
I'm looking at the toe seam right now.
It's just science. It's like they figured it out. That's a problem of the past. Live in the future. And they're the number one. Socks are the number one most requested item in homeless shelters. So Bombas socks were created to change that. For every pair you buy, Bombas donates a pair to someone in need.
That's very nice.
It really is. So keeping it wholesome. Get some good socks. Make sure your feet feel good by going to bombas.com/superbeast today and get 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com/superbeast for 20% off. bombas.com/superbeast.
Thank you, Bombas.
Thanks, Bombas. I guess there was some news.
So, what do you think about a girl that was just a foot? Like her whole body is a foot.
Where's the girl?
It's got lipstick on it. And fake lashes.
Doesn't do it for me, but I'm sure Reggie's in.
Hey, Clemps. What about a girl that's just a foot? You see those fucking...
Is there a wig on the foot?
Yeah.
Okay.
You see those fucking fake vaginas that are foot?
No.
You fuck the middle of the foot.
No. Like Daedara?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's like a foot. It's like a silicone foot. But then at the bottom, there's a hole for your dick. And you fuck the foot. You put it in the foot.
See, at a certain point, you're not... No.
You fuck the foot.
Because you're talking species, and then when you leave the word species...
Is a foot a species? Is a foot a fantasy creature?
No. No, it's not.
You don't know that.
Okay. Here's a question. We're trying to get everybody to jump off ship.
You all right?
We're trying to get you off ship.
Oh, yeah, but that's going to bring in a different audience. They're going to get right back on the ship.
Have they touched on zombies?
They are dead last in the rankings. That has come up. In fact, I mentioned it to you when I first brought it up. They show the opinion polls, and zombies are number 2. All undead are number 2 on the ranking, just above demon girls.
Because Miss Fortune in Skullgirls can have her head come off.
Yeah.
And then she can hit it around.
She sure can.
For combos. So.
She undead?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's also a cat person.
Yeah.
So
she's an undead cat.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
She has a thing in her that keeps her alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there's tons of people who'd be into that.
So this is what I'm saying. If you're trying to push it, well, now we're going into, like, you know, the real gross stuff, but with happy zombies that are all like, hey.
You can punch my head right off.
I don't feel it.
Yeah,
Have fun.
That's cool, man.
You know?
Yeah.
Then it gets weird.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of places that goes. It's not great. So are they going there?
I don't think they're going to go there.
See, because that's what I'm saying. How you want to get everybody off? To jump off the ship.
I think they're going to go bizarre instead of offensive.
Okay, well. Because zombies equals body parts, man.
Yeah, I know, man. It's a crazy world out there.
And you know it.
The world in that show seems very laid back. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of drama going on.
But the problem is, like, it's like, okay, so no one's going to overreact and be all uppity about anything. But what about the part where you just barf in your mouth at what you're looking at? You know?
Oh, I thought you meant go somewhere where they barf in your mouth.
No, I mean, like, what if you are like, hey, listen, we live in this world that's all about just being laid back, but then you see something and you're like,
they have straight up had bits in which there are like there's a halfling guy who's like a little tiny potato guy. And like there's a offhand comment that goes like from the human dude who's like, yeah, the halfling chicks freak me out because they look like kids. So no thanks. And the show definitely sidesteps that shit.
As you do. Because again, if the world is like, it's no big deal, like, no, I'm throwing up all over all of you if I have to do this review, you know, or if I have to sit here and watch you do this review, you're just gonna get it.
I mean, the mushroom thing was actually pretty close on that.
Okay, well, so all that to say that, you know, sure, world is all laid back and chill.
Yeah.
But if you fucking... I don't want to see an egg, man.
Yeah, you do.
No.
Come on, you're going to watch the show now.
I definitely don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
Quit being a pussy and watch it. You've watched worse. I know you've watched worse.
I have watched worse.
Yeah, come on. That gator, she can pop those out, man.
It's a gator?
Well, it's a lot of weird shit. Because they go and they want to see a hot bird lady do it, and they show up and it's like a penguin and a gator and a sea anemone and some regular ass salamanders, and it's like just nothing you want to see.
Do the people that are super duper into it like sit under a glass table?
Do you remember the Waterworld exhibit?
So that they can look up.
Do you know you remember the Waterworld exhibit at USJ? Like the semicircle? You ever been to SeaWorld?
Yes.
It's that.
Yes.
It's that.
Okay. Not the glass table.
No.
Okay.
Shamu's going to do a trick for you, everybody.
Could be worse.
All right, so what was up in the news?
What?
What was up in the news?
I like how you sandwiched that.
Yeah.
I like how you deliberately sandwiched that.
Yeah. There's no escape.
And by like, I mean I don't like.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, you hit me with colostomy bag as a weak point, and which like made me so uncomfortable I almost had to leave. So you know we're all doing our part here.
Still with you, huh?
Yeah. You remember the email you read about the fucking guy pulling the syringe out and coming at you?
Mm-hmm.
Every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day.
Well, now you have footage.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is that it's not even like one of those ones that you would have like an application for, because you don't need a full prick needle point for that. It can just be one of those like loose, wide, plastic-ended ones. But
like a pipette?
Like if like a baster.
Ah, a baster.
Like a baster.
Like what's that movie with the dog? That
Yeah.
Okay,
Don't
the
breathe.
dog didn't have a baster.
No,
but
don't breathe. Don't breathe.
Don't breathe.
Sure. But instead, you got to go the way where it's like, no, this needs to pierce flesh.
Yeah.
How else will it get through the clothing?
How could a baster of semen possibly pierce flesh?
One man.
We'll find that answer.
Summer 2020.
All right.
Valorant.
Valorant? What's Valorant?
It's the story of the man with the syringe.
No.
Riot Games Project A is called Valorant.
Oh, what is it? Which one is this?
This is the one that is Overstrike, but it's Counter-Strike. Wait.
It's the shooter.
Overwatch, but it's Counter-Strike, so it's Overstrike.
Wasn't that a game also?
Overstrike? Overstrike, come on.
It was, but it got changed into Fuse.
Oh, its name was Overstrike?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
All right.
Honestly, I feel as if from looking at that little like trailer that kind of first there was a leak.
Yeah.
And then there was like Rob
Fuck it.
from Rob I don't sign NDAs Breslow from Slasher. And then now they're just like, all right, look, here it is.
Shit's out.
They had the Twitter and it was verified. When you look at it, like the silence of it, the maps, the way the guns look, all of it, the tactical nature, it's all very CS.
Valorant gameplay. I'm gonna take a look at this while while y'all talk.
No, exactly. And it's interesting because like
that's Counter-Strike.
have there ever been
Like
any
within 1 second.
have there been any Counter-Strike likes that also introduced like the magics and the spells and the heroes?
But I'm looking at this footage and the way the map looks, but even the one that makes you go, oh, it's Counter-Strike,
is
the upper right kill cam.
Yeah.
Is like name, then gun icon, then name. Wow, this looks like dust. Like the map they're playing on looks like dust, but Overstrike.
Overstrike. Okay, so Rainbow Six has like heroes, right?
Yeah,
champions.
It does.
And
it does have the champions.
And they do have abilities. They're not magic, but they're tactical.
They're like,
versions.
I have a sledgehammer to kick down doors, and I can seal up windows.
Right. So
like
and Rainbow Six plays more like CS than like a crazy hero
Rainbow
shooter.
Six actually plays like on the other side of CS. It's like it's Rainbow Six. Like you fucking you die.
Hyper simulator.
Yeah.
Right. So would you say that that's the closest?
No, I would say this is. I think your description of Overstrike is dead on. It is this is emulating Counter-Strike about as closely as it could, and then adding like the art flair. You can see it's a little more rounded.
Yes.
If that makes sense. But yeah, this is Overstrike.
And
you correctly named this game.
Yeah, heroes are casting spells.
Yeah,
and it literally says your ult is ready.
Yeah,
you know. So yeah, I mean,
I would be interested to play this.
It's interesting in the sense that it's like, well, like if it hasn't been done, then I suppose there's an audience that wants to know what it's like to play CS:GO with you know, this kind of crazy magic shit.
It's really interesting because Riot's in this place where they're really evil, right? The company's very bad, but League is so successful and makes so much money that you look at this game and like say this game came out and was garbage, right? they will work on it until it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Say the fighting game comes out and is trash.
Mm-hmm.
They will make it not trash.
Just keep it going until it's not. Yeah.
The resources and time available are functionally infinite.
Yeah. I believe that. I feel like I feel like we edge ever closer to a world of like every main popular genre needs to have a fusion with another that equals an existing title.
Sure.
And if there isn't already one in the works, then at the very least there's somewhere that one has been.
Games are now multi-genre experiences.
Yeah. So anyone who knows those types of shooters that's into them is gonna fucking be right there. And I remember when there was those tweets saying like, "Oh man, played it, love it, super good, super fun."
Also, they're all
jazz.
pretty much guaranteed to be free.
There's that.
So why not?
I would imagine that like the casual life of a game like this lives, breathes, and dies on the strength of its character design, the strength of its world and overall brand appeal.
The model, like the specific rotating model.
Yeah, because like the tactical gun with the box man,
yes,
or next to the crate, is like. That shit's fucking rad for the people that are down that road.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily going to pull Overwatch players away that are into it for like super like I like Mercy reasons.
Well, I mean, they got to make a bunch of hot characters.
They got to make a bunch of they got to do that. And
they got to make a bunch of characters you want to fuck.
Well, they need to be SFM models ready to go.
Or Blender now is the thing apparently.
Just put it right like put the assets out alongside the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just straight up.
Why? What are we doing? We fucking around?
You know what? No, don't do that. Don't do that because that's probably opens you up to like copyright stuff. But what you do is you have the models stored all in like one folder. And it's labeled models, and they're like easily importable into Python or Maya.
Inside each folder, there's like exported to all the different possible engines.
They're just sitting there.
Yep,
it's like, we forgot.
There it is.
Not important that we patch this out.
There it is, right there. Yep. No time to fuck around. Put it on the knees.
Yeah, they're all rigged.
Ready
they
to go.
have insertion rigging. That's really weird.
That's crazy.
That must be for like a feature that cut.
What's up with? Okay, well, hey, please look at that.
That's weird.
Oh, these data miners.
Oh man, they got us again.
they mined the zip file that was sitting next to the exe.
Yeah. It was labeled "Do not open."
In the installation folder.
Yeah.
It was right there, this miscellaneous zip file. Got
us again.
Whoa. What do you do?
These kids nowadays with their computers. It's crazy.
Oh, fuck. Like, what if you're a console player? Like, you open up the physical and there's a USB stick in there. Like,
that's great.
Give us that.
Oh, no, we accidentally shipped out 4 million USB sticks.
Branded with Valorant on it. Send those back, please. That was a mistake. Absolutely not supposed to happen.
Oops.
You bought it digital? Here's a URL. What? No.
What?
That was
a mistake. We fired that PR guy. Good job, PR guy.
Bug. Huge bug. Everyone, don't go to that URL.
Our Twitter was hacked by data miners and sent you all to a website where you could download the models for free. But if you like that, please give the game a free trial.
Yeah. Some of these model layers make some of the clothing go away, but not all of it.
That's really weird.
Strange. I guess it's just, just incomplete textures.
Yeah, it must be.
Incomplete textures.
There's also, I think Riot talked about how what their server support for this game is going to be, which is what I came in here, or before podcast talking a little about.
So what's happening with that?
So they're getting They've said that they're going to use 124 tick servers. The long and short of it is that the tick rate of a server is how often the server is able to ping the player and the player to ping back. And the higher the tick rate on the server, the more responsive your latency experience is going to be. For example, CSGO uses 60 tick rate server, right? Battlefield uses a 30 tick rate server. And boy, can you fucking feel the difference. Well, you know when you ran around that corner and you're like, cool, the guy only started shooting after I ran around that corner, and then you fucking die? And you're like, that's bullshit?
Not really, but I get it.
It's because in that one tick, they were shooting at you and it did hit you. And it just didn't line up. So the higher the tick rate, the more responsive. 124 is pretty high.
Doesn't it also make a difference if you're playing with hit scan weapons?
It makes a big fucking difference with hit scan weapons, which this game uses.
So CS is all hit scan?
All hit scan.
All hit scan, yeah.
Except for grenades and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
128? Oh, whatever. Fuck off. But yeah, no, so
anything realism is going to always be that, right?
Yeah. Because bullets go fast.
They're fucking bullets, man. What are you doing?
So this doesn't really directly apply to the fighting game, which me and you are obviously a little more interested in. But what it does say is that Riot is very interested in spending the time and the money to make the online experience of their games the best it can be. Now, putting servers or tick rate servers into, say, a fighting game wouldn't really do anything, but it's about the intention. And it's about being able to say, Battlefield and Call of Duty and CSGO, man, they don't care enough to have really responsive net play. Come over to Valorant, whatever
Valorant.
Valerie, come
Valorant.
Come over to Valerie's house where she ticks all day.
Anti-Valor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently there are shooters that have geometry based realistic shooting.
Cool.
Interesting. Like what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I feel as if a Battlefield has projectiles. Oh, interesting.
Battlefield has projectiles and bad tick rate? That sounds awful.
Because you would think, right? Like I guess how you'd think that it's just like when it comes to simulating a bullet.
Oh yeah, you're right. Battlefield does have projectiles because if you're sniping, you have to adjust for height. And the bullet takes a bit to actually reach.
Yeah,
it's only at super long distances.
So you actually have to snipe in the way that like you kind of do in real life.
Yeah, you got to aim way above.
And
you got to
compensate for drag.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I guess when you think of like, well, you know when you see footage of like anti-aircraft fire?
I do.
And it looks like you can trace the line.
Yeah.
Like, is that an optical illusion?
No, they've put tracer rounds.
Okay.
They put tracer rounds that fire way slower, but trace the line so that the people firing it can trace the line.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. I didn't know that.
Because anti-aircraft are putting out way more shots
it's
than
insane.
what you see.
Yeah, and whenever you see the footage of it, it's like there is like it's almost like a helicopter blade, right?
Yeah, it's like 1/10 of the shots,
what you're actually
no, it's actually they put tracer rounds.
So there's
there.
okay.
Yeah.
That's a cool. Okay. Yeah.
Tracer fire at the same speed? Cool.
So then
I don't know what I'm talking about.
So then in some cases you wouldn't necessarily go for hit scan. Got it. I gotcha. Yeah.
If you fire enough bullets fast enough, it basically becomes a laser sword.
Yeah, well that's the thing is, and I've seen footage of where just like I'm like I don't know what I'm looking at, but the sound is telling you more than the visuals are.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
The sound is telling you more. You can hear the sound of how many are going out.
So there's no like projected release on this, eh?
Didn't they say summer 2020?
Did they?
Yeah, they said summer 2020.
Well, that's sooner than... Well, the fact that this is leaking now, it seems late. Doesn't it?
Well, yeah, by you standards, but if we're going by Apex Legends...
That's true. That is true.
Drop it hot. Drop it hot. Then it's got to be in and ready to go.
You want to? Hey, since you're saying drop it hot, my brain just went to drop it like it's hot. You ever have something be completely, utterly ruined for you? I recently heard a remix of Gourmet Race, the Kirby track, right?
With Drop It Like It's Hot?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But it was a different remix of Gourmet Race.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't Drop It Like It's Hot.
It was not Drop It Like It's Hot.
And that was the
all
problem.
I can think of is why did somebody... The phrase that came out of my mouth was, why did somebody remix Bark It Like It's Hot like this? Because my brain went, the Kirby remix of Gourmet Race is the Snoop Dogg song.
Is the official one. Yeah.
And I don't remember the name all the time.
Yeah.
And my brain says it's Bark It Like It's Hot. It was very confusing.
Yeah, that's dumb. Half of that is your brain's problem. But we did just talk about this, like, I want to say last week, where Tables Turnover by Botanic Sage is the official
it's the real
101 song.
Yeah.
It's
like the Slam for Everybody's Jams is now the real version of Battle for Everyone's Souls.
Yeah. So I've been seeing the comparisons, and people are throwing in Overwatch, CS:GO, and then Siege again is being also compared in.
That makes sense. Siege is hot. Siege does have the champions.
Yeah, but that's also with the modes of like breaking walls and getting the hostage and shit, right? So, well, anyway, we'll have to see what this turns out to be. But anyway, this unexpected, oh shit, we didn't expect to have to announce it so soon, but
Oopsie
here we
doodles.
Thing is out there.
I would love for that to happen on the fighting game.
5v5, 10 characters at launch. There's a buy system that is like
CS:GO,
CS buy system, which is apparently a big deal.
Yeah. Buy system very much changes the round around. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer.
Is that like MOBAs?
Yes.
Right, where as you go, you buy.
As you go and do better, you buy better.
Yep. Okay.
That's why the early rounds are so important.
Sounds like a key component to toxicity.
It does, doesn't it? Guy died. The first guy who dies in all of these is the one who lost the match.
He killed us.
Yeah.
He ruined it.
I can't believe it.
Got it. Okay, well that's Valorant. Summer 2020.
Just leak the fighting game now, please.
I really wish it went the other way around. I really do. But, you know, it is what it is. So, yeah, we talked about it. But, you know, the FF7 remake demo is out.
It's now!
You can now. Now you can, speaking of remixes that replace the original themes, and this is not quite on that level, but it's pretty high up there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Cloud's Time Is Now. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I kind of hear those lyrics at least distantly a little bit when I hear the FF7 battle theme.
Really? I don't think I've ever heard that version.
Oh, you need to hear it.
Yeah. Okay, send that to me later. John Cena. Yeah, I know. It's not. I don't have the brain to do this.
It's good. Okay.
I can't.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Them.
Okay. It does it. It does it. They slam together. It's pretty good.
I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Well, anyway,
brain no music good.
It dropped. It's there. 8 gigs, demo live.
I woke up, and I was like, that was my reaction. That was a reenactment of this morning. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Not much to say besides it's out.
Not much to say besides it's out. People have played it. They're all like, "Yay, it's good."
Mm-hmm.
Thank God. Thank God. Could you imagine, man, if it was just like people got hands on, like the general public, and were like, oh no.
But I think we talked about like everything they showed off so far, though, being like, yeah, well,
It looked immaculate.
yeah, like I'd be really surprised if this didn't work out.
People are describing it feeling like a better Kingdom Hearts.
Look, it looks fucking great.
Which is what FF15 should have played like.
It looks fucking great. Like I'd be really shocked if it somehow wasn't for some reason. Anyway, so other fun stuff going on this week. Apparently, even though there was a bit of a negative implication when JP Kellums responded to me telling people on... No, it was a video we recorded where I said, hey, remember how Wonderful 101 was announced? And it was like, look at this. It's almost like it could be called Beautiful World.
Yeah, I remember.
And I was like, it feels like it's almost out of the same world. And then I want to say someone like tweeted that at him, and he went, oh, guys, come on, don't do this.
Despite that,
and I remember being like, oh, well,
they're now referring Wonderful 101 and Beautiful Joe as part of the same hero series.
As the third game in the hero trilogy from KAMIYA is Project G.G.
But that doesn't really tell you what you need to know. Here's what you need to know. Japan loves superheroes. Beautiful Joe loves Kamen Rider. That's why he goes henshin and does the pose and has the scarf. Wonderful 101 loves Super Sentai. That's why you have the people who transform into a big thing and they're all color-coded. And then this thing fucking loves Ultraman.
This is the Ultraman.
A regular guy turns into a much bigger guy.
Protects the dog.
Yes, he does.
Trailer has a platinum logo. Drops their slogan. Platinum maintains its luster forever. And then, what is nature's revenge? Everyone is running. A big ass kaiju fucking stumbles into the streets. Wrath of the gods. And then you see a building collapse and a dog is stuck.
Oh no!
With its leash under the rubble. And it's a cute dog, too.
Who could save that dog?
It's a fucking Shiba Inu.
Which is every dog.
It's the cutest dog.
Yeah.
You gonna fucking stomp on a Shiba Inu?
That monster would.
And then the building's gonna fall on the dog. But then the hero arrives and he's got a helmet.
And he does a pose.
And he does a pose.
And he becomes really big.
Yes. And then you see the kaiju and the hero run to face each other. You know, it's kind of interesting because, like, when the man grows big to go face the kaiju, and then, like, the dog is protected, but then it's like there's still rubble falling, and that dog is super not out of danger.
And the Ultraman has a tendency to fuck up the city he's fighting in anyway.
So that dog is totally not necessarily saved. But hey, Hero of Steel, stand tall. Project G.G. Please save the dog. Project G.G. a go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Henshin is a cool word that I like. I like when the hero transforms into a better hero.
Please be a game where you obviously fight third person against the kaijus and have big, sick, crazy boss battles.
Uh-huh.
But when you're human-sized, you can still have human-sized boss battles.
Yeah.
Please be that.
And also, I want like a Moomin Rider thing going on where like you're using your bicycle to like get around.
To do shit. Yeah.
And it's like, save the kitty from the tree. Fight the kaiju from space.
Right.
Help this old lady across the street.
Yeah. Defeat the eighth slumbering evil.
Yeah, that's right.
Totally. I want to say, you know, that you can almost think about, like, say, Scalebound, where you had the big dragon and then you had the on foot, and you fought together. Like, let there be two scales of battle, you know?
Scales of battle. Oh, I see what you did there.
That'd be sick.
Do you see what KAMIYA said when he was being interviewed about what games he'd like to make after this?
So, he had a statement with this actual announcement where essentially he talks about the importance of this project. So I wanted to get into that.
Very important.
They've been pretty much hinting at it for a long time now, but this is what they were talking about when they said we want to make our own IPs, because Platinum has made a ton of classic games that are beloved and amongst the best action games in history,
and they own none of them.
Every time someone says make a sequel, he's like, we can't. Ask the people who
ask Sega or Nintendo or whoever.
Ask whoever paid us to make this thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, they've got fingers in all the pies, right? They've got their fucking Metal Gear franchise, they've got their Square Enix franchise,
but no pie for themselves.
They've got none of the things where they can control it. Infinite Space, maybe?
Fuck that game.
Maybe that one. Anyway, so the importance of Project G.G. is that it is self-published and developed, so they can control and make it with full non-interference.
And it will be their grandest failure yet economically.
Oh my God. It'll hurt the most. Because it's fully coming out of their coffers. Well, you know.
And 10 cents coffer.
Yeah. You're going to have to bring it up every time. We're going to have to. It's because it's that's what it is. You know, dreams are built.
There's going to be a podcast where we talk about 15 different games in the news, and then at the end, we're going to realize that every single one of them is owned by Tencent.
Or someone equally deplorable.
Yeah. Like 10 penny.
Or... no.
Yeah. Can't do worse than that. Yeah.
Like, what if Huawei just straight up starts making games?
That didn't click in my head. It's not ringing bells. Huawei?
Oh, they make the cell phones.
Oh, yeah, they're evil then.
They're the ones that are making the phones, and they're also the ones that are just like, hey, guys, we sent a couple of business people to meet with other business people around the world, and while you're out there, you fucking grab anything you can. Pieces of paper give you a bonus. USB sticks that grab data give you a huge bonus. The more you steal, the more you get.
I mean, that's admirable.
Grab everything you can grab. Stuff it in your jacket if you have to.
If you can manage to get back here with an honest-to-God employee, you'll get promoted.
Smash and grab.
Yeah.
Hey, see that new bendy phone? See that phone that fucking bends on itself?
The prototype?
See the prototype, that Samsung phone?
Put it in your ass.
You get the
Put it in your ass.
Fucking phone. Hey, guys, check it out. We got a bendy phone. It fucking bends.
That's crazy.
You ever seen this shit before? Yeah, we saw it. You ever seen this fucking shit?
Yeah, I did. I have seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big corporate crimes.
I've seen it.
And that's not even getting into, like, by the way, we're like hyper spying on you.
Yeah, well.
It's a fucking...
Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
It's classified as a fucking security risk. You're not allowed to own the product if you work for the U.S. government, because it literally might just be like, hey, where are you going?
Don't talk.
Turn that camera on.
Don't talk about your undercover operations around the Furby, sir.
Don't do it. So, you know.
That Furby shit was hilarious. You remember that? Was some FBI agent
because of the microphone
was talking in their home about Furbies, and the Furby started fucking talking in public company about shit the Furby wasn't supposed to know. It's so bad.
Anyway. Project G.G.
I'm trying to say the word dildos around my phone a lot
to see if it'll happen.
To see if I get targeted dildo ads.
Yeah. I mean, so like it's been proven a couple times with diapers.
Yeah.
For me, I've noticed it with what was it? There was something a couple years back.
There was a thing where Amazon or some grocery stores were like, for a long time account holders, they were like recommending them like diapers and pregnancy products, and they're like, I'm not pregnant, and then it turns out they were pregnant, and their buying habits had changed to the point where the algorithm kicked in and said they're probably pregnant.
Fucking terrifying.
And it's like, wow,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, some of that.
Thanks, Jeff Bezos. I didn't know I was packing heat.
Well, it's like it's much more. It's much more. It's less scary when it's just like, hey, did you click on this Amazon link? Well, now you're gonna see that popping up.
Did you click on pickles and peanut butter 35 times in the past day?
Sure.
Probably pregnant.
Yeah, but the listening phone is the real scary. You know, if that's actually a thing.
You know what I've started to do?
Which there's been things disproving it. Which you know what's
a fun thing to do, though it takes a really long time. Mute every ad you see on Twitter. If you mute every single ad you see on Twitter, the algorithm starts to break, and they don't know what to recommend to you anymore, and it gets weirder and weirder and less of like applicable to you. And
well, I just turn off targeted shit anyway.
I don't know how to do that. How do I do
There's
that?
a button that says like don't customize for me.
Oh, I should just do that.
Yeah.
But I want to get to the point where I'm getting like Turkish ads for like hairspray.
Yeah. I've talked about it before, but it's like the targeted ad thing. It's like it's fucking trash absolutely everywhere except for Instagram. And the targeted ads on Instagram get me every fucking time. Because dear God, do they know me.
Well, there's one other place that I know that our targeted ads work really well. And that's the Castle Super Beast podcast.
Hey.
Because we know that all of you guys love all of our sponsors.
Oh. Sure do. Yeah. It's gotten me, man. Pants I'm wearing right now are fucking targeted.
Oh, don't do that.
It is.
Don't do that.
It is.
Don't do that.
It happened.
That's bad.
G.G. Good guy. Good games. But anyway, so alongside that came some other stuff, and KAMIYA was talking and doing interviews.
He's talking some crazy shit.
And he had some other things to say. So you had one, I had another one. What was the part you were going to mention?
People were like, "Hey, what kind of games do you like to make? Would you like to make like a Devil May Cry game or whatever?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "I would love to make a Devil May Cry game. I would love to make Devil May Cry 0 Story of Sparta."
No, he just said Devil May Cry 0.
Your
brain did that. Shut up.
But what he did say for
Don't
real,
lie.
though, was Dante versus Bayonetta.
Dante versus Bayonetta.
And then told everybody, "Hey, go bug Capcom, send them emails." And I was like, "Oh!" I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah. There's something about that like, I don't know what that would be.
I know exactly what that would be. It would be a character action game where you played as one or the other, and they would use their own system, and they would deal with the other character's enemy forces.
Yeah,
and the final boss would be the other character.
It would have to, but it would have to start that way and then be cooperative.
Fuck.
Final
boss is the other character.
You know how it goes,
it's
dude.
The only thing that Yaiba did right.
No, it's not that at all. They're both good guys, therefore it doesn't have to start that way, but it would build to that moment, but then the true enemy is the cooperative thing they defeat together.
Fuck that.
Well, that's where it goes.
If Dante versus Bayo happens, there's one thing that needs to happen.
It's following the rules of fucking jerk-off fanfiction.
Okay, here's my jerk-off fanfiction. You ready? Bayonetta needs to see Dante, and she needs to hound on him like a creepy sex pervert. And he has to be freaked the fuck out and like, would you like a pizza? And run away.
But he doesn't freak out and run away. He actually goes, "Ha, you got spunked, lady," because that's what they would do.
Oh, and he's just like an oblivious moron?
And he'd be like, "Woohoo," and she'd be like, "Oh, you're kind of whatever." And then they'd do the thing, but then they'd fight to a stalemate.
Yeah.
You know? But it would not be a real stalemate. It'd be like a laughing stalemate.
Yeah.
And then there'd be a real problem for them to solve.
Yeah.
And then the hijinks ensue.
And then they realize they're cousins.
Well, anyway. That's how that gets played out, dude. You can't pretend it's going to be anything not that. You know. But also,
he also wanted to make Scalebound still, which is sad.
Like, are there games that I want to see more than a brand new DMC Cross Bayonetta game? There actually are.
Not many.
There actually are. I guess, like, I don't know. I'm weird. Crossovers used to be a very magical, cool thing.
And then you played Namco x Capcom.
Well, Smash still exists.
It does.
Right? But, like, the crossovers were so rare that it was like, holy fuck.
Yeah, they're less rare now.
And now, with the existence of Smash and Kingdom Hearts, and most certainly Namco x Capcom, there's a bit of a, like, yeah, you know, and there's also, like, indie games that are pulling them all in. There's fighting games that are grabbing guests. You know, Soul Calibur is pulling in a bunch of folks. Like, it really, it's not as crazy, holy shit. It's more of a, like, oh, fuck, yeah, that's cool. We got 2B in Soul Calibur. That's awesome. So to dedicate the full game to it, I'm kind of like, I want that Sparta game more.
Okay, but no, but think about this.
And Marvel is Marvel. But the crossover is still strong.
But think about this, right? What if Bayo fought, you know, the demons, and then Dante fought the angels, and, you know, they swapped there? But what if Itsuno-san did the Bayo section, and Kamiya-san did the Dante section?
It's gonna be immaculate. It doesn't matter. That's not my point. It's gonna be immaculate if it exists.
And then Virgil and John are like, oh man, they're so stupid.
Yeah, and then they're sipping tea together.
Yeah,
watching the stupid fight.
Oh my god, they'd totally be sipping tea together. Oh my god.
They'd be sitting at a cafe. He'd be reading his book, and she'd be like, "Look at these idiots," and he'd be like, "Of course." But that's not the point.
Nero would be upset that he got stuck with Enzo.
Yeah. No, whatever. But, like, you know what I mean? And like you can go through this exercise every time you grab two franchises that, like, could blend together, like when we did the Star Fox Metroid thought process, you know?
That one was weird.
And you know,
that one was really weird.
Yeah, and we're in the middle of the Animal Crossing Doom phase.
Can we get something official, please?
The Twitters
are cohabitating.
They're it's going. You know, you have to wonder if Nintendo's reaching out. Doug Bowser, do the thing. Do the thing, Doug.
Because, like, one collectible in Doom and one piece of furniture in Animal Crossing would do it.
Yeah. But maybe it's just me, but it's like the nature of the common crossover is not as elusive anymore.
Yeah, you're right.
So there is a bit of a, like, yeah, we just wrote the game. You know what I mean? Like, we just did it. And here's the other bit. Let's say it never happens. A fucking fan will make one and just throw it out there anyway.
But shut the fuck up.
There will be like a fan-made version of that at some point to answer all your questions, right? There's a little bit of we have a lot of access to stuff now, right? Like, sure, think about how awesome it's gonna be when, dear God, you fuckers release playable Virgil in DMC5. But, you know, you can just go mod your PC copy.
Wooly, I want to play with my toys, and I want a new toy that's them, and then I take them and they kiss.
Okay, but do you want to play with Psycho Kirby and Sonic.exe?
Yeah.
As we eventually gather together with Captain America to defeat Palpatine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know I do.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm describing, but it's certainly not like a lack of wanting to see that stuff exist. It's just more of a, like, new stuff is new stuff, and or like, what do I want to see more, right? The promise of something new and rad, a place that we didn't go in a storyline that we love, or a dedicated crossover. And it's like, man, crossover storylines are almost always terrible, but the idea of it is cool.
But then they kiss.
And then the interactions are cool. Yeah. That's what we love. We love the interactions between the characters we love.
I really just want a TV show that's like Capcom Real World.
Like, burn down the entire thing, but keep Rocket Raccoon liking Ebony and Ivory in that moment.
Yeah.
Where Dante tosses the guns over. And he just knows what they are.
And he's like, these are cool guns. I like them.
That's it. That's all you're looking for, really. You're looking for that moment. And it's like, do you have to build a game around that moment?
Yes.
You don't have to.
But I want it.
But you know what I mean.
But I want it. There's no nuance to this discussion because it's literally, I could go for something new, and then people going, but I want it,
You're right. I hope I'm making some sense with it.
You totally are. But it's like the point of view that you're putting out is reasonable, and it's going against the lizard brain of "but my toys kiss."
Because I feel like if there was one fight, one cutscene with all the things we described, and then like one co-op jackpot moment, you don't need a game. You just need those 3 things.
But what about when Bayo's fighting Dante and she pulls out the Phantom Summon and then Dante laughs and just stingers it to death in one shot, and he's like, "Oh yeah,
that's part of the fight."
Like, oh my god, I can't believe it.
It's part of the fight.
Lollipops.
And unlike Death Battle, like in this case, no one dies.
But then they come back.
Because there's already a death battle of that stuff.
I know, I saw it. Yeah. I agree with its result.
You know, so.
And you get to have Dante make British people jokes. Because British people are hilarious because they talk stupid. Yeah, I said it. What are you going to do? Cheerios at me? Ha ha.
See, the real trouble is what Redgrave means. Because is there not...
Yeah, Dante is Lucas' dad.
Because Tony Redgrave is a fucking thing. Redgrave is a thing in both worlds.
Yeah, he's like, actually, son, I lived, and I'm just a deadbeat like my brother. Your girlfriend seems weird. She seems a little too old for you.
And it became the name of a city, and then it became the name that he used to cover when he ran into hiding. Anyway.
And then Joker's there.
Joker or Joker?
Joker. And he's like, hey, Mom.
Joker?
From Persona.
Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He's like, hey, Mom. And she's like, you run off to your little Persona schools.
But then why wouldn't Joker also be there?
Yeah, why not?
But and now we go, and now
he's like, Dante, we live in a society.
And he's doing the dance on the staircase.
See, this is why people write fan fiction, because the emotion that I'm feeling right now hits them and they literally can't contain it, and they're like, I have to make it happen.
But all you want is that exact moment.
Hey, I just thought of something. Why is it that fan fiction is so fucking lame, but a picture of the only moment you want in the fan fiction is cool?
Well, if the art is nice, then it's nice.
I think it's because it's art. I think it's because art has value, and writing words is stupid. What?
Yeah, well, can't argue that.
Art has value, and writing words is stupid.
Can't fight it. There it is. Hard facts.
That is exactly what I thought.
All writers are just mad that they're not better at drawing.
That's right. Writers are to artists like dentists are to doctors.
You're just if you're a writer, you're just a failed artist.
That's right.
You wish you could draw your ideas, but you can't.
You have to tell people what they are.
There you go. Yeah, that's the take. That's the take.
Use your own imagination, because I'm too bad at drawing to show you.
Oh my god. Oh, I feel it in my intestines. Holy shit. Okay. Well.
All right, what else we got in the news? What else?
Nuclear takes? I don't know.
I don't know. That seemed very nuclear.
Where's the lie?
Where's the lie?
Where's the lie?
Why are you booing me? I'm right.
So of course, amongst all the things he was saying, he did say that about the what do you want to make? And he's like, I want to make all the things.
But this one first.
Let the companies make the things, and then he would make them. This is the answer. However, the other thing he said was, and this is more direct to
G.G.
course, no, not at all. He had something to say about Resident Evil 2.
What? Really?
Yeah, it was just a little goofy comment.
What was it?
It wasn't big. They asked him, hey, you're the guy that directed Resident Evil 2.
He did.
How do you feel about the new one?
Yeah.
And He said, "There's some videos of me playing it somewhere, but you have to know that the director of RE2's remake is a friend of mine. We were coworkers. We used to go out drinking after work. So before the game was announced, he let me know his intention to remake it. He asked if I had any recommendations or advice, and I told him, you're the designer. It's up to you." And
that's smart. I like that.
That was the last time we talked about it before it was released. After it was released, he said, "Holy shit, this is really scary. The next time I see him, I'm going to ask him, can you make some DLC that's a little less scary and maybe some cute zombies or something? So please make cute zombie DLC."
That's not going to happen.
It's not the worst idea.
Yeah, they did make Misty in the original.
There's also that girl in the jail cell. That zombie in the basement. I remember.
Yeah, I know. That was weird. Maybe you're the one who needs to go on Interspecies Reviewer. Fuck a zombie.
See, once you tell me the goal,
yeah,
I will. I can. Again, if the goal is to crash this ship to into dry land and kill anyone who's left on board, and convince everyone to jump off before we hit the credits,
yeah,
you can do that.
I don't think you can do that.
You can do that.
I don't think it is possible to actually get everyone off the ship.
There's always one left.
There will always be one person left steering it.
Okay, well if you get it down to one,
okay,
then
that's a victory.
That's acceptable.
Okay.
Yeah, then you can do it. You can push everyone off until there's only one person
and
left.
that person will be really happy to still be on that ship.
They will. They'll
be like, wow.
But it can be done.
I didn't think this vacation would be so fulfilling.
I didn't think anyone else wanted to go here.
Or even knew about this location.
I didn't think anyone else wanted to run aground. But here we are.
Here we are, yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, Death Stranding's coming out for the PC
in June, right?
Yes, on the 2nd.
That's not too long afterwards. Good.
And as you can imagine, all that Horizon Zero Dawn shit is fucking out of there.
Yeah, it is.
But instead, they've replaced it with Half-Life.
Okay.
So now you can get head crabs on Sam. And a bunch of other Half-Life shit.
Okay.
That's what's going on with Death Stranding on PC.
Remember when anyone cared about Half-Life?
Does it have no staying power?
No, the game hasn't come out in fucking forever. Fuck.
But what about Alex? Though?
I said fuck them.
Alex.
I said fuck them.
They just announced a new one.
I don't care. I'm sad now.
When it comes back.
Fuck you. Go to hell.
Yeah.
When it comes back.
I got no horse in this race.
When it comes back, I'll hit you with my cane.
I got no dog in this fight. Well, anyway, that's the one it goes to. Also, there's that picture that Kojima tweeted out of him sitting at a desk and everyone's fucking trying to breathe and getting their inhalers and hoping to God that the secret messages are not implying that he's about to work on Silent Hill again. Because I don't know if anyone is ready to go through that again. But I think the reason why they think it might be that is because on his pencil there's a word that says pyramid.
Yeah.
And then the word hills or silent was in the tweet.
So...
And then everyone starts reaching, and it's like, oh, God.
I no longer want Silent Hills.
I don't think anyone does.
After Death Stranding.
I don't think anyone does.
Because I think you were the one who phrased it that Kojima is at war with the concept of subtlety.
Mm-hmm.
Silent Hill...
Full frontal confrontation.
Silent Hill it has like a subtlety to quality ratio. And it's a line. That being said, I'll take it over anything else Konami would ever do with it. So I'll still be happy. You know? Because PT was very spooky. It's true.
Let him make it and then take the ending 2-3 hours, slice them off, and just find a way for the last fight to make sense. when you stitch it back together.
Did you know that the S in Hills stands for silent?
Well, anyway. We talked about the F7 demo. You can go grab that. While you're at it, you can also grab immediately, by the way, you have 24 hours to try out the last chance trial for Nioh 2, which people are putting in the time, and it's got a full character creator. Guess what?
What's that?
Nioh 2's fucking good.
Yep.
It's Nioh 2.
I'll pick that up and then get mad at the inventory again and then put it down.
It's quality of life, the video game.
That's correct.
Nothing but praise.
Where the fuck is Elden Ring? It's next gen. That's the answer to that question.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
It's cushioned tightly underneath George R.R. Martin's butt cheeks.
Could you imagine if an interview came out with Miyazaki and he's like, yeah, we've been ready to ship it the whole time, but Martin just won't finish the story?
We've, in fact, finished the game. We just haven't put any text in.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. He just won't do it.
Yep. He's got to sit on it for a while.
God damn it, Martin.
It's like FromSoft is like, why does the script smell like farts?
Because he's trying to ovulate it and percolate the script. He's trying to lay out a script. But it's poo. This is some highbrow shit we're doing here on this podcast. The Castle Super Beast podcast.
Item descriptions are not going to be enough.
No. I think I'm a dumb child. Because when my brain goes, but it poo, though, like, I literally, like, it's funny. It's funny to me.
Speaking of not enough, you see these Monster Hunter movie posters?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I didn't know Tony Jaa was in it.
Yeah, he is.
I was like, what's he up to? He's in Monster Hunter, apparently.
Yeah, I would recommend people not go see this movie for a couple reasons. One of which is it's probably going to be a trash fire.
Do you not want to see the Resident Eviling of the Monster Hunter franchise?
I would, but
it's going to happen.
Also, they horribly fucked over one of the stunt ladies working on it. They did not have the proper safety precautions.
Didn't someone die?
She did not die, but she was horribly injured and lost one of her arms. And due to a fine print where they fucked her over, they essentially paid her nothing for her insurance, so she's like broke.
Oh, was that the aftermath of that?
Yes. So it was a rig in which there was a motorcycle scene where they were driving towards the camera and they did not have the proper precautions to lift the camera up fast enough, and she like went right into it and one of her arms got cut off, and then they fucked her on the deal with the insurance. So yeah, that movie's like bad, like immoral bad.
Yeah, well, don't worry, there will always be Monster Hunter 2 through 7. As Paul W.S. Anderson
continues to employ his wife. Employ.
But hey, she's got the sword.
There's no monster in that.
Get the fucking Will Smith. Where are the monsters? Where are the monsters at? The answer is rendering. Because
that was Resident Evil? Okay, fine, whatever. It's the same fucking production company and director and actors.
Oh, wait, that was a Resident Evil story?
That was one of the Resident Evil movies.
Oh, well, fuck off. You've already gotten to see all of those.
No, I haven't.
You were telling me about the Wesker fight.
Yeah, from the clip I saw during the RLM watch-through.
Forgive me for assuming that you didn't...
I watched the first 3, and then I was out.
Oh, excuse me! Excuse me, only the first 3?
There's like 8.
Yeah. Only the initial trilogy.
Don't use that word.
The initial... My bad. You barely scratched the surface. My mistake. How could I be so foolish? Well then, anyway, Monster Hunter in theaters September 4th, aka Resident Evil 11.
Yeah. It's a big biohazard. You know that movie's an isekai? You know that?
I don't have any cash on me.
Yeah.
But I would hold it up and hand it to you.
Yeah, and say, go see this movie or whatever.
No. I would hand it to you and say, if this movie does not find a way to connect itself to Resident Evil, the franchise by Paul W.S. Anderson.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form, if not through...
There'll be a poster on the wall for the Umbrella Corp.
If not through the idea of the Umbrella Corp.
Yeah.
If not through the idea of time distance.
Yeah.
If not through the idea of this is fiction within the world, it'll be somewhere connected in some layer, shape, or form, whether it's up, down, sideways, or four-dimensional.
Uh-huh.
Give me my money back.
So I'm gonna go on a wild guess here. On a wild ass guess, this is going to be a prequel to the Resident Evil movies, because the enemy monster in this is going to be Gormagala. By the way, the footage and script shit leaked out a million years ago. The enemy monster is going to be called Gormagala. It was the evil dragon looking one from 4, the one that's purple, and the hero monster that will help the heroes fight it will be Rathalos. The Gormagala does something where it infects people with a frenzy virus, which makes them extra crazy. And I bet a character at the end of the movie will pick up a Gormagala scale, and they'll have a little lab coat on, and it'll slowly zoom in, and they'll have a little umbrella tag, and they'll be like, I bet we could do something with this. Some kind of virus.
You're not making it work, because it's still in the same setting and world, in the sense that the Umbrella Corp would exist in this time frame.
That's what I'm saying.
No. This would have to be, what you're describing would have to be the other way around. This is the end of the Resident Evil world.
Oh,
when Resident Evil, the movie franchise, goes post-apocalyptic into the far-flung future.
You know they rolled that back, right?
What are you talking about? Rolled what back?
They rolled the post-apocalypse back.
There's a post-apocalypse?
Yes.
I don't know anything about that shit.
They destroyed the whole world.
Okay.
And then Alice woke up, and multiple movies were just a dream.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Okay, but here's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't even know they already went there. That's crazy.
They did that.
All right. Well, here's what we're doing now. This poster with them standing on an empty fucking thing is the dead future of the
No,
RE
that's not what
movie
that.
world.
That's the Monster Hunter universe.
Yeah.
That they travel to through a portal.
Oh, it you know what? Whatever. It's everyone in humanity doesn't even know where they are anymore. It's that far. But the remnants of...
No, I'm not exaggerating. That is a different world they travel to through a portal.
In the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
It is an isekai.
Okay.
The main character is a human guy who's like, I'm descended from a race of hunters from the other world.
Okay.
And Rathalos and monsters come through to the city through a fucking portal.
Okay. So the portal is there before, connected to Resident Evil world, 100%.
Yeah. It's the modern day and Monster Hunter world.
Okay.
And in the modern day world, there will be a guy with an umbrella lab.
There will be, yeah. Okay. Yep. There. Okay. See, I thought you were saying in this dinosaur armor world, someone has an Umbrella Corp logo. What are you smoking?
That's why, like, at the end of the game, in the end of the movie, at the destroyed cityscape,
modern
a guy
day.
will pick up a scale and be like, "Oh, I bet this will help us with the research on the T virus."
Yeah. I will put,
and it'll be Wesker.
Cash fucking money on the connection, and then you're like, cool, Monster Hunter, and then it zooms out, and above it says Resident Evil 12.
I think like a way better reference is one that Susie found in the RE3 footage, where there's a poster that's it's a robotics seminar, and it's like, will robots take over in the future? And it's no names, but it's clearly Dr. Light and Dr. Wily going to speak at the seminar.
No.
And it's like, good.
No. So they solve this problem, and then the franchise wraps up, and then we hit, let's say, 3 comes out, and everyone goes, all right, fuck off, we're done with these. And then 4 has to come, but they can't put a number on it because it's embarrassing, right? And the third one was already called Monster Hunter Try. So then the 4th movie drops, and they're like, well, what's going on? And then it's just another same generic thing, but this time the portal gets closed, and it was too late, though. Some dinosaurs did get through.
Yeah.
And then a little girl with a gun goes, my name's Regina, and I gotta stop these dinosaurs. It's a crisis.
It's a crisis.
And then the fucking stinger hits, and we roll out. And we roll out.
All right,
and Paul W.S. Anderson gets a Scrooge McDuck of money.
Listen,
tubed into his house.
I hate to break it to you, but as somebody who is intimately familiar with these properties, Resident Evil and Monster Hunter rate. Dino Crisis does not.
No, but he wants to keep it going.
Ain't nobody knows about Dino Crisis.
You keep it going when you combo one franchise into another, and Capcom keeps making money on your movies. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. They absolutely let it happen. I mean, it's either that or a man in a red coat walks on the frame, and you don't want to go there.
You're right. I don't want to go there.
So then you take what I'm giving you.
Could you imagine a DMC movie in which Dante is there and he's about to kill a demon and like Alice comes through and kills it first and she gets the cool hero moment? You ever see the second Resident Evil movie? It's like go check out clips. Every time Jill is about to do something cool, Alice will literally run in front of her in the frame and do it for her.
All I know is she breaks through the church glass window.
And everyone cheered.
You know, it is what it is, man. And it's like, oh shit, the trailer says my wife is back. I mean,
there was an old interview
Milia's back
for the third Resident Evil movie that I think I read in Insight magazine.
Insight?
Yeah, way back. And it was with Paul W.S. Anderson. And he was like, do you guys remember that time in Resident Evil Apocalypse where Alice jumped through the church window on her motorcycle and killed the licker and everyone in the theater cheered? And I went, no. Because that's not real, Paul. That didn't happen ever, anywhere. Maybe in your theater because you told them they had to, or else you wouldn't get laid.
See, the other problem is whoever you cast, if it's not Ruben, Ruben's going to be really fucking pissed.
It would have to be Ruben.
It would have to be Ruben, but then it's not.
I don't agree with this.
But this is the problem.
I don't agree with this.
So that's why Regina picks up the gun and goes, it's a crisis, and only I can stop it.
Dino.
Directed by I
hate this. I hate this. I hate. Why do you take such joy in this?
And you know what?
What?
She's played by Milia Jovovich.
Oh my god! What?
Just there she is again. But
and they de-aged her?
But she's got a wig on, so the hair is different. And she's like, I gotta stop this crisis. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Man.
Well, anyway.
And Dino Crisis 3 is really
What's
bad.
that? Some clones of Alice survived? God damn.
Yeah, it's a
interesting.
Wooly, it's very dumb, is what I'm telling you.
Okay. Well, anyway, beyond that, just two other things.
It's
One,
also very poorly directed.
Real quick, yay! Congrats, Warframe. You got into Smash Brothers in the form of a spirit.
Cover up those titties, though.
It's Lotus. Oh, is that supposed to be?
Lotus has a very low cut top.
Big old buxom.
Yeah, let me get a photo for you.
Oh yeah, they draped the tatters up.
They covered them up with a covert scarf.
Shit.
Let me grab a photo of this shit.
Who's Lotus anyway?
Rebecca Ford.
That's the space mom?
Yeah.
She plays a character? I don't understand. I don't know anything about Warframe.
Okay. So you're not joking. Okay.
I don't know anything about Warframe. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Big old chest harder. Yeah. That explains the JoJo.
Okay. So back when Warframe was
that's
getting...
a Bruno hole.
Back when Warframe was getting made, they were fucking broke.
Mm-hmm.
So they had Rebecca, the community manager, do the voice of the main mentor character, the Lotus.
Oh, wow. I didn't know this.
The Warframe's space mom.
Oh. So she's a character in the game.
Yep.
I thought she was just a community manager.
No, she is also a character in the game and does most of the mission dialogue voiceover.
Well, that would explain
also led to a very awkward moment where there's an ongoing thing in the storyline where Rebecca was at TennoCon, where she's like, "You guys want to save Lotus or kill Lotus?" And it was like 95% kill Lotus.
Okay.
And she was like, "Fuck."
Okay. Gotcha. Oh wow, interesting. Huh. So she's like super the face of this game.
Oh, absolutely.
Because she's in it.
She runs their community. She runs Primetime, which is the talk thing on Twitch.
I just thought it was like, yo, good community manager that everyone knows because they're doing their job.
This isn't and like Lotus is in Smash. This is Rebecca Ford.
She got in.
A person is in Smash.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that. Okay. And you covered up the tatters.
You gotta cover them up.
Fair enough. Do what you got to do. Okay, that's a JoJo hole in that original version right there. Straight up. And last but not least, you know, I mean, we can drone on about it, but what are you gonna what? Let's talk about the High Republic.
Keep talking.
The High Republic was announced. The High Republic is the new story era of Star Wars that has been introduced, and the first thing they showed was a room full of writers and people and all these Star Wars folks sitting in the same room going, and then this, and then that, and then that, and you're like, okay, that's a better way to write a story than to just break it up and go, you do this, and you're locked in a room and you don't know what's going on. You don't talk to anybody.
And then you go to the next guy, and you go, we don't know what that guy wrote yet, but figure it out when he does.
Make it work. So puzzle the pieces in Jigsaw later, and it's like, oh no. But hey, so the High Republic, what is it? It is an era that takes place... what did they say? 200 years before the Old Republic stuff?
There's a word for this. Do you know what the word is? Andromeda.
Yeah, okay.
We fucked it up.
Okay.
There's nowhere to go.
Let's go back even earlier.
We'll go forward or backward or sideways.
Yeah. So when Ben drops that line saying, hey, 1,000 years of the Jedi, guess what? You have a lot of ground to cover.
Actually,
if you wanted.
He says 1,000 generations.
Yeah, you're right.
But then in the prequel trilogy, they say 1,000 years.
Yeah, okay.
A generation is 40 years, by the way.
Yeah, so that's way...
That's a big difference, isn't it?
Humongous difference. My brain always said 1,000 years.
Yeah.
But it's not a millennia.
It's 1,000 generations.
It's 1,000 generations of the Jedi. Well, that is still infinite places to go. And if you pick a spot in time and go, brah, this one, here they're talking about it as a frontier.
It's so stupid because Star Wars is such a gigantic setting. It's a whole galaxy. And we've seen, 18 planets?
So it's not even that. It's not even that, right? It's like, when do we get the wild departure from even the concept of a lightsaber, right? But when you go too far away from that and it's not even fucking Star Wars anymore, then, how are you going to sell that, right? Because there still needs to be some semblance of the thing that people signed up for them to like.
If you don't have a laser sword, I ain't getting on board.
It would be hyper interesting to go psychotically different, right? With still keeping the ideas of planets and the Force. But you'd never bank on that.
You should really continue this conversation after you finish KOTOR 2.
Okay. I'll do that.
Because that goes the weirdest places of any Star Wars thing I'm familiar with.
Yeah. But, the ideas of, all the lost civilizations and technology that look nothing like anything we've seen before.
Nah, it's all blasters, dude.
In the realm of 40,000 years?
At least.
1,000 years gives you a lot of time to play with.
It does.
If you take it to 40K...
You go from Warhammer to Warhammer 40K.
Yeah. Literally, right? So I've already seen some pictures of the original Sith hanging out looking like space Romans.
Also, the original Sith are weird lizard people.
They're these red people that there's some shit went wrong and stuff, right? And I'm seeing all these things of yo, check out the Darth Maul race before they fucking turned into that. They used to look like this, and then there was a split. You're like, okay.
Can we get a jellyfish with a lightsaber? Can we do that? Can we get a Hanar?
But it's just fucking, just go. Keep going. Keep going back.
Do anything.
Keep going so far back that you don't even recognize what you're looking at anymore. You know?
That being said, I couldn't have less faith in this.
We'll see.
I guess we will.
I think the idea of the new frontier sounds interesting. It depends on what they do with it. Depends on how it's handled and
What's
whatnot.
it like being a Jedi on the frontier?
Yeah. It's a bunch of books.
Look, this guy has tits on his head.
It's a bunch of books. He does have tits on his head. Also, one of those books has like, I think the book was like The Light of the Jedi. And you're like, you look at the book and you're like, this smells like farts.
It does.
It smells like pure, righteous, absolute, like, high, holier than thou farts. And
the Jedi are peace. The Jedi are the way.
But we, I hope it explores things and goes places. The Nile, I believe they're called, the villains of the frontier. You can't take it all with you, but we can take it from you. All right, sure. Anyway, High Republic. That's where
I'll
we're
take
going.
a Space Marine over a Jedi any day of the week. Space Marine would fuck a Jedi the fuck up.
What does the Force look like when introduced to like cultures that don't even know what the fuck a light side or a dark side is?
It looks like moving rocks.
What do you do with that? How do you play that out? Explore it. Go places.
No.
The world has magic in it.
Wooly, fuck off. Do you know how fucking, like, groundbreaking they thought putting a fucking 25-year-old video game Force power into the movie was? That was fucking breaking new ground. Holy shit, Force healing. Wow.
Space magic without space religion. What does it look like?
Looks like a bunch of D&D spells. Can we get Tensor's floating disc as a Force power, please?
So, yeah. Hate bombs are a thing.
Yeah.
The High Republic. All right. Let's take one or two and...
Let's take an email that was sent in to castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. That's castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. Your email may be read on the air. It might not be. Probably won't be. I'll be really honest.
It's all up to you. Let's say this one from Kyle says, "Dear Wooly Rogan and Pat Diaz."
I don't know who I'm being referred to.
He's calling you. I think I'd imagine either Nate or Nick, one of them fighter mans that he hangs out with. It's
All right, so what's the question?
Joey Diaz. I'm an idiot. Joey Diaz, greatest storyteller of all fucking time.
Oh, cool. I tell a good story.
Not as good as Joey Diaz.
Oh.
Joey Diaz is one of the greatest.
Is he older than me?
He's an older man.
Then I have time.
And he's like, Joe Rogan, you don't understand. Back in the day, I was doing meth. I fucking broke into this house. I was looking around. I saw this chick. She was hot. She's like, Joey, what the fuck you doing in my house? I was like, ah, shit. So we banged all night. And then I smoked up. And I fucking went home. And then my mom beat my ass because what I was
Wait, what? What? Wait, when is this story taking place in the person's life?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, right? And you're like, what are you doing? He's like, I went down and we played the numbers. I played the numbers for Santeria. And he just telling his story. He's the greatest. He's so good. Joey Diaz is a fucking legend. So yeah, that's who they man, of course.
People are saying that impression is spot on. So good job. I'll take that compliment. Thank you, email writer.
Monday morning, cocksuckers. You tell the world someone's gonna suck my dick today. Anyway. So here we go. Dear Wooly Rogan and Pat Diaz. Been having this argument with my friends for a couple of years now. When any new game comes out, and immediately, whenever a new game comes out, he immediately looks up exploits for god builds and follows YouTube walkthroughs and rushes through to the end. I try to play blind as possible and build towards and gravitate to whatever. His reasoning boils down to achievements, and being god mode means he can steamroll through to the end. Mine is I just like a personalized experience and learning on my own. Wondering what your thoughts are in different playthroughs. So we talked about this. Min likes to min-max. He likes to crush it and then steamroll by any means necessary. Mm-hmm. I know you like to find the optimal build as predetermined.
So me determining an optimal build is not about me getting the strongest character. It's about taking the stress of making a bad character off the back of my mind so that I can enjoy the game.
Right. So to me, that's not so stressful at all. I don't care. But if there are things that can make the thing that I like cooler or better, then I'll swerve them into the direction I'm heading anyway. You know, I keep going back to the example, but it really is a standout of just like, I'm like, listen, man, I get that you made this big BioShock 2 game, but I just want to play as a Big Daddy. I don't want to do anything else in this game but be a Big Daddy.
Now, somebody like me might think that must have been the most boring playthrough ever because you just used one move the whole game.
I was Reinhardt.
Okay.
I had so much fun. I enjoyed it, and I buffed myself around that. So...
you would have been a wrench player in BioShock 1.
If there's places for me to go. But I played BioShock 1.
Yeah.
And it was normal. I just played a normal playthrough.
Because the wrench, you could do the same thing. You just wouldn't charge.
No, my biggest bummer with BioShock 1, besides the fucking last part of that, was the part where they're like, you're you know, fucking spoiler alert for BioShock 1, you become a Big Daddy, but nothing changes.
And it sucks. And it sucks ass.
Absolutely nothing changes. And I was like, this is... the worst. I can't believe you'd let me down like this after fucking implying something nice. So anyway,
God, it sucks so much ass, that last sequence.
Now the problem and the difference here is that the way I go about this type of thing is now different for me because of the fact that I do LPs.
Yeah.
So the fact that there's an audience, the fact that there's people, there's the fact that there's expectations, and time matters, and people also hate watching things that like miss things and things like that.
There's a what I would call a smoothness factor you want to hit.
That you have to hit.
Yeah.
And like, you know, some people definitely are like, oh no, I enjoy the mess, but those people are unfortunately in the minority in that way. I get where it's coming from.
They're also very nice.
They're also very nice, but you generally want to keep a smoothness factor going. So that thing is something that does not exist naturally within me when I'm playing. And if I were to continue playing a certain game for myself that was on an LP or something like that, I would just I'd wing it.
Fuck it, I'm going to do it till it works.
And I would just play the game and stumble across the world because I like that feeling. And then when I encounter something that is like way up my alley, then I start leaning towards that, right? If there's a huge thing where someone's like, oh, dude, you missed a fucking world where they had all the cool shit you like, then I'll be like, all right.
Oh, well, going back.
Gotta go do that, yeah. But for the most part, I have no problem finding my way to the ending and then like slight error corrections according to like what I find out on the way.
Yeah.
You know, so a little bit of guidance here and there, a little bit of like, oh, there's this or there's that. But I'm okay if I make it through and miss some amazing things that, let's say, I never would have used or just, you know.
I think a lot of this depends on the kinds of experiences you've had in the games that you grew up with. So 2 games that are really good examples of the opposite ends of this are Fallout New Vegas and Baldur's Gate. Right? They're both RPGs, and they're both made by mostly the same people. In Fallout New Vegas, you're mainly leveling up skills, be it medicine, lockpicking, sneaking, yada yada. In Baldur's Gate, it is a D&D 2.0. The difference between these is the way that you play games, Wooly, is exactly the way I played New Vegas when I started. Like, I want to be talky, and I want to be sneaky, and I like sniper rifles, so I just happen to do those, right? And it's fine. In Baldur's Gate, it is laughably trivially easy to make a really, really bad character. Not a suboptimal character, like a fucking terrible character.
Which will give you a hard time beating the game.
Like a really hard time beating the game.
Okay.
Right? So like think of, it's D&D. Imagine if you would imagine you didn't know shit and you put lots of strength onto your wizard.
Yeah.
Right? Stuff like that. So anybody who would play Baldur's Gate 1 or 2, which I do recommend, especially with the third one coming out, go to GameFAQs, go read how to make a character in D&D 2.0 because that shit is ancient and nobody knows innately how to do that. And I played a lot of games like that. I played a lot of games where you could fuck yourself.
But but the difference is, do you literally hit a point at which you cannot beat the game, or is it just this is going to be harder than it should be?
If you make a shitty enough character, it's pretty possible that you would be unable to beat Baldur's Gate's tutorial.
Okay.
Because like wizards, level 1 you get 1 to 4 HP. And if you just rolled like shit and put it all wrong, you're not going to be able to kill an enemy before they hit you.
Here's the thought process, though. If a game introduces a concept to you that it says, this is the basic idea of what your character is going to be, and then you do a tutorial that tells you about what your goals are, depending on your archetype. For the most part, if the game allows you to then kind of like pick what you want blindly within the framework of what it introduced to you, and then you hit walls of like you cannot progress any further because you just did not do the perfect thing. That's a failing design.
Yes,
right?
it is.
So
that's why the Pillars games fight against that exact design idea by making stats that aren't so important that you can't ruin your character outright.
So to me, most of the games I've played have been games where like I can still enjoy that journey, and as long as I kind of feel like I'm building a character that's cool, that I'm having fun playing as, then like I'm content to overcome whatever unexpected difficulties arise from having that build, providing that the game doesn't stop.
A good example would have been had you kept going into the post game and Iceborne with Monster Hunter, the attitude of just doing whatever would have stopped you eventually. It would have been like you're literally using no skills on your armor and you're not putting it out.
Oh yeah,
stuff. It would have stopped you at some point.
Well, remember Teppen? I couldn't get to champion with the deck of characters I liked. I needed to get to champion with a deck of
characters that work.
Characters that work. Yeah, I understand that. I definitely get that part. But it's just to say that, in direct answering of this question, when I pop in a new game and I'm not playing with anybody watching me and time doesn't matter, my enjoyment is just wandering through.
For me, it depends on a lot of factors because I've played games like that and I've played games not like that. And it depends a lot on like the game's first impression. Like when you create a character creation that's very in depth in terms of like stats and abilities tends to give me like a hard freeze. If I just start a game and I'm playing and then like later you unlock the ability to earn skills or whatever, I'll just do whatever and I'll ballpark it. But the expectation of creating a character correctly right out the gate fucks me up.
So here's the sad part about the world we live in now. Remember the discussion you and I had about Snake Eater with the end? Mm-hmm. That'll never happen again, because that for me, I had 3 different friends that all had different ways that they got through that, and that moment is kind of gone.
Why? What does that have to do with this?
I kind of think that like that was a moment where none of us knew how much variety there was to taking care of that part of the game.
Yeah.
And that too much information could have ruined it. Mm-hmm. And I think that like now it's pretty unlikely that you're gonna not know. Unless you deliberately...
Unless you're playing through it right on release.
Yeah. Oh, and you're not... And you're shutting out the outside world, right?
I've had that happen to me a couple, not that, but I've had some genuine unexpectedness because I'm generally streaming games on release, and if there's something I'm really excited for, I try and burn through them as fast as possible. So like RE3, I'm expecting stuff like that because I'm gonna hit that real hard. But
if you got an upgrade point and you didn't know that a super shotgun was right around the corner and you spent that upgrade point, you'd feel pretty annoyed.
Usually what I do in that in a game that has something like that, I wait for like a half hour. And like, have I not encountered anything?
Oh, naturally?
It's probably far away.
Oh, so interesting. And then what if 32 minutes later
then I go, oh fuck. Okay. And then I mentally make note of how far apart those things were and wait like 5 minutes longer later.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay, I'm okay like with the bumble, and then the eventual, like if we find our way, you have your way going through it. But in some cases, as we find that like what I'm okay with might be immensely annoying for people to watch. So that kind of feeling, I haven't had that in a really long time, because this version of playing games is now...
Playing it live is a different beast.
And this is now what I do most of the time. So this has replaced my old way.
Yeah, it reminds me of when we were talking about Persona Scramble.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's not going in the work schedule. Does it fit into the leisure schedule? Yeah. No, it probably doesn't.
So that's where we're at.
That's where we're at?
Yep. All right. That's a pod.
All right. You see the brains that you can fuck? It's not a foot, it's like a brain.
We're going back here?
Yeah, we're going back here.
As you fidget spin?
I'm fidget spinning. I'll be honest. I had this ready for the end of the podcast.
You walked in here with it in your pocket. If you say that this
No. I'm talking about the brain thing. When we're talking about fucking the fake feet, I also remembered a video I saw of brains that you could put your penis in.
All right, well, then fucking take us out.
All right. This fidget spinner's pretty fun. Dab. There we go. You all have a good night. We'll see you around next week at Castle Super Beast Podcast.